Hooch tragedy. And I apologize, these are pictures coming in from Patna that will play out shortly. BJP going all out in a full frontal attack against the Nitish government, where they have been continuing to question him over why no measures have been implemented to prohibit spurious liquor. On the contrary, we've seen the kind of reaction that is coming from Nitish Kumar so far. Not only has it been insensitive, but he refuses to apologize. He is still on the defensive, where he's blaming the victims instead. And the line that is now doing the rounds, Piyoge to Maroge. Clearly, Nitish pinning the blame and asking the victims to take care of themselves. Not even a word on the compensation, which he says is far from possible. And BJP now going all out in this attack, questioning the Nitish government over the rising death toll in the Hooch tragedy, which, remember, has now crossed 50. More than 50 people who've died in Bihar after consuming Hooch. But Nitish Kumar has left the people to fend for themselves, and he has made it categorical that the government will do nothing about it. Let's once again listen in to how Nitish stays on the defensive. He went on to repeat the same in the assembly again.
जहरीली शराब से पीने वालों की संख्या जब शराबबंदी लागू नहीं था तब भी, और आज भी उसकी संख्या कम है। आज दूसरी जगह खूब जहरीली शराब, जहां शराबबंदी लागू नहीं है वहां भी जहरीली शराब पी के मर रहा है। टॉप पर है मध्य प्रदेश, हरियाणा कहां नहीं है, यूपी, सब जगह का देख लीजिए हिसाब किताब। तो जब अब बात यह है कि यहां जहरीली शराब पी के मरा, तो हम लोग तो इसका खूब प्रचार कर रहे हैं कि पियोगे मरोगे। अब उसी को दूसरे रूप में बता रहा है। और तब इस तरह से मरता है तो दूसरा जगह क्या नहीं छापते हो? जब जब तो तुम खोले हुए हो, बता वहां अजा शराबबंदी भी लागू किए, वहां का भी हाल है। तो करते तो है नहीं। अब बात करना आप सोच लीजिए। अब तो हम बता रहे हैं, अब तो हम एक बार और फिर हर जगह जाकर के हम कहेंगे कि अगर शराब के पक्ष में कोई बोल रहा है तो आप याद रखिए, ये कभी आपके हित में नहीं जाएगा, उल्टा काम है।
So Nitish Kumar reasons it out in the assembly yet again, where he makes it amply clear that the government is not at fault, and this is a statement he has been repeating over and over again, where he's left the people to fend for themselves. He has made it clear to the people that Piyoge to Maroge, that's the statement that he's made. Not only is it insensitive, but Nitish Kumar saying that the opposition is only doing this out of political vendetta, where the BJP we see protesting on the streets outside Raj Bhavan as well, questioning the Nitish government over why no measures have been implemented for the prohibition of spurious liquor. Several reactions coming in from the BJP on this. Let's listen in.
लोगों के मौत का जिम्मेवार कौन? नीति बनाने वालों की जिम्मेवारी है नीति का अनुपालन। अगर वो विफल होते हैं और लोगों की जहरीली शराब से मौत होती है तो नीति बनाने वाले ही जिम्मेवार हैं इस पूरे मौत के लिए, और गरीबों का मौत है ये, और कोई ना कोई किसी को जवाब देना पड़ेगा।
सीएम को गुस्सा आता है,
शायद अपने गलती का एहसास कई बार होता है, विफलता का एहसास होता है, अपने नियम कानून का एहसास होता है कि विफल हो गया, अपने प्रशासन का एहसास होता है विफलता का, और उसी का परिणाम है आक्रोश, गुस्सा, तिलमिलाना।
वो तो बोलते हैं जो पिएगा वो मरेगा, मैं तो कुछ नहीं कर सकता।
शराब अगर अवैध जहरीला बिकेगा तो लोग मरेंगे, और वो व्यवस्था कहाँ से कायम होता है, ये बड़ा सवाल उठता है।
देखिए, वास्तव में मरने वालों की संख्या का आंकड़ा 100 को पार कर चुका है। सरकार छिपा रही है। बड़ी संख्या में लोगों ने पुलिस के डर से दूसरे जगहों पर जाकर अपने शवों को जला दिया है। लोग डरे हुए हैं, दूसरे अस्पतालों में इलाज करा रहे हैं। अब 2 दर्जन से ज़्यादा लोगों की आंखों की रोशनी चली गई है। और ये भी समाचार है कि जो जहरीली शराब है वो थाने में जो शराब जब्त की गई थी, उसी जब्त की भी शराब का इस्तेमाल किया गया था जहरीली शराब बनाने में। और ये वही इलाका जहाँ 6 महीना पहले भी 17 लोगों की मौत हुई। तो छपरा जिले के मसरक और बगल का इलाका कोई पहली बार नहीं है और खुलेआम वहाँ पर शराब बिक रही थी। तो आखिर पुलिस प्रशासन क्या कर रहा था? और मुख्यमंत्री अगर कहते कि जो पिएगा वो मरेगा, तब तो 4 लाख लोग जो जेल गए सबों को मर जाना चाहिए। और देश में जो करोड़ों लोग शराब पीते हैं, क्या वो भी मर जाएं? तो इस तरह की भाषा का प्रयोग मुझे तो समझ में नहीं आता कि नीतीश जी आपको क्या हो गया है। मैंने कभी आपको इस तरह की भाषा का प्रयोग करते भी नहीं देखा था। जो शराब पीता वो महापापी है, वो महा अन्यायी है, उसको हिंदुस्तानी कहलाने का अधिकार नहीं। इस तरह की भाषा का नीतीश कुमार प्रयोग कर रहे हैं।
So you hear the BJP going hammer and tongue questioning the Nitish government over the Hooch tragedy, where Nitish Kumar remains on the defensive. More than 50 people who've lost their lives in this tragedy, but he makes it very clear that the people must take their own responsibility. He says, Piyoge to Maroge. Not only is it insensitive, but the Nitish Kumar government completely raising its hands when it is about implementing corrective measures to prohibit spurious liquor in the state of Bihar. On that note, we shift our focus.
आशा जी, 16 दिसंबर ये तारीख जब आप लोग के लिए, मुझे लगता है जिस दिन जब ये तारीख आती होगी वही तमाम चीज़ें याद आ जाती होंगी। आपको लगता है कि 10 साल बाद भी ये जो तमाम जो चीज़ें हैं ये बदली हैं?
देखिए, आज 16 दिसंबर है और 10 साल पूरे होंगे। दर्द और यादें तो वैसे ही हैं और हालात भी वैसे ही हैं, कुछ भी नहीं बदला। अगर अब हम ध्यान से देखते हैं तो 2012 से 2022 के बीच में कुछ भी नहीं बदला है और बल्कि हालात बदतर से बदतर होती जा रही हैं कि बच्चियों के साथ अलग अलग टेक्निकली तरीके से उनके साथ बर्बरता हो रही है, उनके साथ गैंग रेप हो रहे हैं, उनको काट दे रहे हैं, उनको कुछ भी कर रहे हैं। तो 10 साल में तो कुछ भी नहीं बदला, क्योंकि जब 2012 में घटना हुई थी, जिस तरह से लोगों का आक्रोश हमने देखा, सब लोग बड़ी बड़ी बातें की, कानून बन गए, वर्मा जी की कमेटी बैठी, उसमें कानून बनाए गए, पास्को कानून बनाए गए, लेकिन हुआ क्या? वो सिर्फ कागजों में बन के ही रह गया। अगर वाकई में उस पे काम हुआ होता, महिलाओं के लिए सशक्त कानून बनाए गए होते, सख्ती से काम हुआ होता, तो शायद कम से कम हमारी दिल्ली तो सुरक्षित होती। क्योंकि दिल्ली में सब बैठे हैं, हमारे बड़े बड़े नेता एमपी बैठे हैं, सुप्रीम कोर्ट जैसे बड़ी कोर्ट है, पुलिस है, फिर भी दिल्ली का ये हाल है। तो कहीं ना कहीं ज़्यादा नहीं तो इन 10 सालों में देखा जाए तो हमारा सिस्टम महिलाओं की सुरक्षा के प्रति तो बिल्कुल फेल रहा है।
And moving on, Republic spoke to Dr. Jayant Murali, IPS DGI, Idol Wing CID, who, with the help of Tamil Nadu Police, successfully stopped the scheduled auctioning of a bronze idol of Nataraj in France. The rare variety of bronze idol that was suspected to have been stolen from Kayatar in Thoothukudi district half a century ago, and the officers of the special wing came across the auction notice that was issued by Christie's. Let's listen in to what the officer had to say. All right, we'll play out that response in just a short while from now. But remember, this holds a lot of importance because it is a rare variety of bronze idol that was suspected to have been stolen from Kayatar in Thoothukudi district nearly half a century ago. It is only of our officers and how they paid special detail that they came across the auction notice issued by Christie's, and they realized that this bronze idol of Nataraj is being sold in France. We'll get you that entire statement in a short while from now.
So we've been doing this idol restitution work in the wing And this year we had actually we had sent 60 proposals for EMBLA to bring back the idols. So in all these cases, what we were doing was, after the auction houses sell it to the museum, and from the museum we were trying to get it back. So then we thought, why should we do that? Why don't we be proactive? So we kept looking at the Christie's auction page. So when we saw this idol is coming up for auction, then we thought, let me stop the auction itself. Because once the auction happens, these collectors, they buy, and if it goes into a country like Switzerland, it disappears. We will never get it back. So if it is with the auction house, we can always get it back. And so that's the reason why I said, okay, we'll stop the auction. So I don't know how I came up with this phrase, stop auction, It was like a slogan. It caught fire, and then it got heard. And we had a lot of people who helped in this, chipped in this, the government of India, the government of Tamil Nadu, then these idol enthusiasts like Kumar, the ambassador of France, all of them chipped in. So it was a collective effort. So we were able to stop it for the first time. I think we can do this in future as well. So this is the best way of stopping the idols being sold in the auction houses and bringing them back.
Okay, so when did you find out about this, and how long did it take for you to, stop an auction from happening? Because we all know that Christie's is one of the famous auction houses in the world, having a lot of, offices and branches in several countries. So how did you follow it up? When did all this start?
This just started about a week back. We came to know once it got listed in the Christie's website for auction, and the auction was coming up today, 16th, Friday, it was coming up today. So we had a very little short time to act on that. So we really had to buckle up and do things in a very fast way. There were a lot of things which we couldn't do because we had to source the pictures. First we had to establish that the idol got stolen from India. And then we had to get the pictures from the Indian Indo-French Institute, Pondicherry, and luckily they had the picture of that. So once we got the picture, and then we compared with this idol, when we showed it to the expert gave an opinion that both these idols are same. So it was definite then that the idol belongs to us. And the next was, from where did it get stolen, how did it get stolen? So we had the source. We knew that it was from the Ekandeshwara temple in Kayathar, which is in Tuticorin district. So we started looking for the FIR in the police station. We were not able to trace the FIR at all, but there were some other documents which showed that this theft had taken place in 72, but the FIR was not traceable. Then we looked at the HRNC records. We have the Hindu Religious Charitable Endowments. They had a record. In their records, in format 1, they had listed that this idol had got stolen in 1972. So it is definite. And then we thought, we should also find out from the villagers. So we made inquiries of the village elders who were living at that point of time. And they said, they knew about the theft. And they also, when we showed a few random pictures of Nataraja, and they recognized the idol which was stolen, which was listed in the Christie's website. So we were clear that this idol belongs to us and there's no way they should sell it.
Okay. So now that you've gathered all the information, what was the next step? How did you take it up with the Tamil Nadu government or the Indian government, and how did you reach up till, France, and how did they accept to, stop the auction from happening?
Yeah, we once I knew that it was established that it belongs to us, then I started pressing the different buttons which I need to push. I got in touch with the state government. Of course, we are part of the state government, and then we got in touch with the ASI director, and then she wanted me to send a note. I sent a note to her. Then I tweeted the French police. Then I also, there are other organizations like Combat Looting and all that. So I tagged them in the tweet. And then after that, I also got in touch with the French ambassador, Javed Ashraf, and he asked me for a note. I sent a note for him. And then once he was convinced that, then he said he will do his best. And yesterday I received a message from him saying that, the auction has been stopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that the auction has been successfully stopped, so we know that it is not going to go into the wrong hands. So how do you plan on bringing it back to India? Because as you also mentioned about the FIR not being able to be traceable. So what are the next steps that the Idol Wing CID will be taking so that it is going to be brought back to India safely and at the earliest?
Yeah, we have definite evidence right now. Proof that the idol belongs to us. It got stolen from us. The idol was photographed in the year 1958 by the Indo-Indian French Institute.
Varshini is now joining us live on the broadcast. Varshini, that's quite a feat given so many of our belongings that stand very important in our culture, in our religion, and we know how they were stolen previously. This again dates back to half a century ago when this bronze Nataraj was stolen, and it is really the alertness of the police there that they noticed it, and then they raised it with France, they raised it with the authorities here. But now again, the last question that you mentioned, how are they going to bring it back and how will it be placed?
Well, as we spoke to the DGP of the Idol Wing CID of the Tamil Nadu Police, he clearly mentions about how he is going to bring it back. He says that they will have to gather more evidence that proves on point about the authenticity of the idol being from Tamil Nadu, India, and they will have to go through the government of India, where they will have to discuss it with the government of France, who then have to accept it and send it back to India. And this is definitely going to need a lot of paperwork and also the support from both the state government and the central government, and he's very hopeful about bringing back the idol, because now they have stopped the auction only because they are convinced that this idol belongs to India and it has been stolen. Therefore, he is very hopeful that very soon this idol will be brought back to India safe and sound.
Absolutely, absolutely, Varshini. And this case is really to be set as an example in the future also of the idols that have been stolen. For the moment, thank you for joining us. We're stepping into a very short commercial break and a quick check of what's lined up on the other side. Karnataka Chief Minister gives it back to the Congress party for backing Mangaluru terror accused Sharik. Also, GOC Eastern Command has made it clear Chinese aggression will be dealt with strongly by our forces at the LAC.
Amity faculty have filed over 1,700 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
Your favorite service provider, 10, which gets you the best of entertainment, is back with something very special. Your 3 favorite movie channels are bringing in super blockbuster films with features like wider picture and crystal clear sound straight to your home.
Wow. Oh, I love that expression.
To subscribe to your favorite channels, contact your local cable TV operator today or call 10 toll-free number 1-800-419-2020 now.
Everyone looks at the world today. At Hyundai, we go beyond with experiences that take us forward. Innovations that are intuitive. At Hyundai, we are going beyond mobility, and you are welcome to join us.
It's party time with the RGO Big Bowl sale. 50 to 90% off on the world's biggest fashion brands. Download the app and shop now.
A movement transforming millions of lives in rural Maharashtra. An initiative empowering communities to transform their own lives. A journey that is changing the face of rural India.
A holistic area where we want to make impact across everything that affects people's life, with the holy grail being livelihood to sort of empower them.
Catch the stories of aspiration on Swadesh Foundation's Swa Se Bane Desh at these times only on Republic TV.
India's biggest fashion sale is back. Biggest deals on sneakers, yes. Should've splurged a little less. EORS.
Fashion's biggest deals, yes.
Fashion's biggest sale is now live.
इससे बड़ा सेल नहीं मिलेगा.
Myntra end of reason sale. Shop now.
India welcomes those who further India's pride across the globe. Indian diaspora, partners of New India's growth journey in Amrit Kaal. Come and be a part of the 17th Pravasi Bharati Divas from 8th to 10th January 2023 at Indore, Madhya Pradesh, India. For registration, log on to pbdindia.gov.in.
Thank you for staying with Republic. This is the news at 1:30. I'm Suesha Sawant. We get you the latest response from Karnataka Chief Minister Bommai to what he said after DK Shivkumar batted for terrorist Sharik. That and much more in this edition. First, a quick check of the headlines.
मर जाएगा तो उसको हम लोग कंपनसेशन देंगे. सवाल ही नहीं पैदा होता. ये कभी मत सोचिए.
Over 50 dead due to spurious liquor tragedy in Bihar, but Nitish Kumar laughs it off in the assembly.
मरोगे इसका तो और ज्यादा हम प्रचार करवाएंगे. तो दारू पी के मर जाएगा तो उसको हम लोग कंपनसेशन देंगे. सवाल ही नहीं पैदा होता. ये कभी मत सोचिए.
Bihar Chief Minister rules out compensation, says he has no sympathy for Hooch victims.
And I'm sure my colleagues on stage will agree, questions are being raised on civil liberties and freedom of expression.
With Mamta on stage, Amitabh Bachchan says questions being raised on freedom of expression. The intolerance debate is back with Amitabh Bachchan's comment, questions raised over the timing of the remark. Karnataka Chief Minister gives it back to Congress for backing Mangaluru terror-accused Sharik.
We are always prepared to safeguard our nation, whether in peace or in conflict. Our primary task is to ensure territorial integrity of the country against any external threat as well as internal threat.
GOC Eastern Command makes it clear Chinese aggression will be dealt with strongly by our forces at the LAC. And as I had mentioned, Chief Minister Bommai has now given it back to DK Shivkumar in Karnataka after he had spoken for the Mangaluru blast accused Sharik. Bommai has now said that the Congress should not forget 2017. He's also said that the Congress had illegally given into that organization, and it is time that everything is now out. Let's listen into that statement in detail. That response, that Republic will play out shortly, but this is how Chief Minister Bommai has hit back at DK Shivkumar, who had spoken for terrorist Sharik, saying that how can he be called a terrorist until there is a probe. And Basavaraj Bommai has reminded the Congress about 2017. He's also said how the Congress has time and again backed such people. And he said that the truth will be out in the open. With this, the Congress stands exposed. That reaction with us. Let's listen in.
Why do you think that's so? You're telling me, is it there is a big
Terrorists. Who are the terrorists? Who is that? What action you have taken? Who has declared? Who was the DG to declare himself that is a terrorist without the investigation? What investigation did they do? How many days they took? Who has been called a terrorist? If they had gone into detail, what they showed on the TV, what they showed on the press media, was it a terrorist act like what happened in Mumbai or Delhi or anywhere or in the part of this country like Kashmir or Pulwama or anything? Nothing is there. Some fellow might have done some mistake, we don't tell. But how we are trying to protect it?
Why do you think the government was doing that?
Why? Because the vote gave. They wanted to.
ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੀ ਖੁਫੀਆ ਏਜੰਸੀ ਦੇ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਤੇ ਲਖਬੀਰ ਲੰਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਟੈਰਰਿਸਟ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਠਿਆ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਮੋਡਿਊਲ ਦਾ ਮਾਸਟਰਮਾਈਂਡ ਸੀ। ਐਕਚੁਅਲ ਪਲੈਨਿੰਗ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੇ ਐਗਜ਼ੀਕਿਊਸ਼ਨ ਮੋਸਟਲੀ ਸੱਤਾ ਤੇ ਗੁਰਦੇਵ ਜੱਸਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਯੂਰਪ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇੰਟਰਸਟਿੰਗ ਪਾਰਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ ਈਚ ਮੋਡਿਊਲ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਡਿਡਨਟ ਨੋ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਦੀ ਅਦਰ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ ਤੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਹੈਂਡਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ। ਕਟਆਊਟਸ ਤੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਡੈਡ ਲੈਟਰ ਬਾਕਸ ਟੈਕਨੀਕ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਚੀਜ਼ ਡੰਪ ਕਰਤੀ ਗਈ ਤੇ ਦੂਜੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਆਫਟਰ ਸਮ ਟਾਈਮ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਗਾਈਡ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਭੇਜਤੀ, ਉੱਥੋਂ ਉਹ ਰਿਟਰੀਵਲ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਇਹ 1/12 ਨੂੰ 1 ਦਸੰਬਰ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੰਸਾਈਨਮੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ RPG ਦੀ ਆਈ ਸੀ ਇਹ ਬਰਹਾਨਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਹੈਗਾ ਤਰਨਤਾਰਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੋਪੀ ਤੇ ਜੋਬਨਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਜੋਬਨ ਨੇ ਰਿਟਰੀਵ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ। ਰਿਟਰੀਵ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਤਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫਲਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਨੱਪ ਦਿਓ। ਸੋ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜਾ ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਦੋ ਮੁਲਜ਼ਮ ਹੋਰ ਫਿਗਰ ਹੋਏ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਫਿਗਰ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਪਰ ਚੋਲਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪਿੰਡ ਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਨੇੜੇ ਦੇ, ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਹਲੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਰੈਸਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੰਸਾਈਨਮੈਂਟ ਰਿਟਰੀਵ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ 8 ਦਿਨ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਲ ਰੱਖਿਆ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇਹ ਦੋਵੇਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜੁਵੇਨਾਈਲ ਸੀਗੇ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਤੇ ਤਰਨਤਾਰਨ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰ ਤੋਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਜੁਵੇਨਾਈਲ ਤੇ ਦੂਜੇ ਦਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਤਲਵੰਡੀ ਸ਼ੋਭਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਦਰ ਪੱਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗਾ। ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੈਪਰੇਟਲੀ ਬੋਥ ਦੀ ਅਟੈਕਰਸ ਡਿਡ ਨਾਟ ਨੋ ਈਚ ਅਦਰ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੈਪਰੇਟ ਹੈਂਡਲਰਸ ਨੇ ਸੈਪਰੇਟ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਲਿਆ ਕੇ ਇਕੱਠਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਔਨ ਦਾ ਡੇ ਆਫ ਦੀ ਇਨਸੀਡੈਂਟ ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੈਂਡਓਵਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੀ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਕਾਲ ਲੰਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਈ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਇੰਸਟਰਕਸ਼ਨ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਟ ਤੇ ਡਾਊਨਲੋਡ ਕੀਤੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਤੇ ਲੰਡੇ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਗਾਈਡ ਕੀਤਾ, ਟਾਰਗੇਟ ਬਾਰੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇਹ ਮੋਟਰਸਾਈਕਲ ਤੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਉਹ ਮੋਟਰਸਾਈਕਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਿਕਵਰ ਕਰ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹਾਂ। ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੁਰਦੇਵ ਜੱਸਲ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਲੰਡੇ ਦਾ ਐਸੋਸੀਏਟ ਸੀਗਾ, ਇਹ 3-4 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਯੂਰਪ ਐਸਕੇਪ ਕਰ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਤਵੀਰ ਸੱਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਹ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਸਾਲ ਜੂਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਐਬਸਕੌਂਡਡ ਐਂਡ ਵੈਂਟ ਟੂ ਯੂਰਪ ਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਜਮੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਇਜ਼ ਇਨ ਦ ਜੇਲ। ਟੋਟਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰਿਕਵਰੀ ਉਹ ਤੇ ਮੌਕੇ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ RPG ਤੇ ਲਾਂਚਰ ਦੀ ਰਿਕਵਰੀ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਸੀ। ਇੱਕ 32 ਬੋਰ ਪਿਸਟਲ ਵਿਦ 15 ਲਾਈਵ ਕਾਰਟ੍ਰਿਜਸ ਰਿਕਵਰਡ ਫਰਮ ਗੁਰਲਾਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਗਹਿਲਾ। hand grenade from Gurraj Singh, a pistol along with the rounds have been recovered. Another person named Gurpreet Singh has been arrested. From Jobanpreet Singh Joban and Gurlal Lali. 32 bore pistol te 15 live bullets recovered from the two juveniles. ये तरनतारन के सरहाली पुलिस स्टेशन पर जो RPG अटैक हुआ था वो पंजाब पुलिस ने इसे सॉल्व कर लिया है। टोटल 7 मुलजिम अभी तक गिरफ्तार हुए हैं, 6 गिरफ्तार बाहर से हुए हैं, एक जेल से प्रोडक्शन वारंट पे ले आया गया है। इन्वेस्टिगेशन तो पता लगा है कि हमारे नेबरिंग कंट्री की खुफिया एजेंसी के इशारे पे लखबीर लंडे जो टेररिस्ट बैठा है वो इस मॉड्यूल का इंटेलिजेंस एजेंसी ऑफ आवर नेबर कंट्री एंड ऑन द डायरेक्शंस ऑफ लखबीर लंडा जो सत्ता और गुरदेव जस्सल के थ्रू एक टेररिस्ट मॉड्यूल यहाँ पे रिलीज किया। उसको अजमीत के थ्रू जो जेल में है अजमीत सिंह के थ्रू कोऑर्डिनेट करवाया और ये अटैक एग्जीक्यूट किया। ये सारे ही ये जो मॉड्यूल मेंबर्स थे एक दूसरे से परिचित नहीं थे, इन्हें अलग अलग लोगों ने हैंडल किया और अलग अलग जगह से पार्ट ऑफ द जॉब इन्हें बताया गया कि आपने ये सामान प्लेस एक्स से प्लेस वाई लेके जाना है और आपका रोल खत्म है। उसके बाद अगले को अगला रोल दिया गया सो दैट अगर कोई गिरफ्तार भी हो जाए तो पुलिस उससे आगे ना बढ़ सके। तो ये हमने सिस्टमेटिक टेक्निकल इन्वेस्टिगेशन से CCTV फुटेज की स्टडी करके टेक्निकल इनपुट से और उसको जो ह्यूमन इनपुट्स हमें कोऑपरेट हुए, ये हमने गिरफ्तारियां करी हैं। इस केस में जो गिरफ्तार हुए हैं गुरप्रीत सिंह एलियास गोपी नंबरदार विलेज नौशेरा के, गुरलाल सिंह गैला ये चोला साहब विलेज का है, गुरलाल सिंह लाली ठठिया महंता विलेज का है, और जौबनप्रीत सिंह एलियास जौबन ये नौशेरा पन्नुआ का है। अजमीत सिंह जो नौशेरा पन्नुआ का जेल में है, इस वक्त प्रोडक्शन वारंट भी हमारे पास है, और 2 जुवेनाइल्स भी हमने गिरफ्तार किए हैं। सो इस केस में टोटल 7 गिरफ्तारियां हुई हैं, और ये एक बहुत बड़ी साजिश हमने बेनकाब करी है, पर्दाफाश की। ये काउंटर इंटेलिजेंस विंग और तरन तारण डिस्ट्रिक्ट पुलिस की ज्वाइंट ऑपरेशन में ये कामयाबी हासिल हुई है पंजाब पुलिस को। The Punjab police has solved the case of the RPG attack on Sarhali police station, which took place on December 9th at 11:18 p.m. In this attack, a Soviet-era made single-use 70 mm caliber RPG-26 was used, which was normally used by the Mujahideen, and it was sourced from across the border in a consignment. Investigation reveals that the mastermind of the conspiracy is Lakhbir Singh Landa, wanted terrorist who is sitting in Canada, who got it executed through his 2 Europe-based handlers, this Satbir Satta and Gurdev Jassal. Both of them are associates of Lakhbir Landa. They operated mainly through one Ajmer Singh of Naushera Panwa, who's Ajmeet Singh, who's lodged in Govindwal Sahib jail. And in this case, so far we have made 7 arrests. The arrested people include Gurpreet Singh Gopi Nambardar, resident of village Naushera Panwa, Gurlal Singh Gela, resident of village Chola Sahab Taran Taran, Gurlal Singh Lali, resident of village Thatiya Mahanta in district Taran Taran, 2 juveniles, one of whom is from Taran Taran proper, Taran Taran city, and the second one is from village Talwandi Sobha Singh, PS Sadarpatti, Jobanpreet Singh Jovan, who is also from village Naushera Panwa. The recoveries include the RPG-26 and the launcher, which was recovered from the spot, a .32 bore pistol with 15 live bullets recovered from Gurlal Singh Gela, hand grenade P86 recovered from Gurpreet Singh Gopi Nambardar, 30 bore pistol and 35 live bullets recovered from Jobanpreet Singh Joban and Gurlal Lali jointly, and 32 bore pistol and 5 live bullets recovered from the 2 juveniles, and the motorcycle used in the crime has also been recovered. So this is a major success of the Punjab police against the ISI based terror module which was run by foreign handlers from abroad. हले हुने फड़े जी पुछगिछ चल रही है ਅਸੀਂ ਪੂਰੀ
ਡੀਜੀਪੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜੁਵਨਾਈਲਸ ਫੜੇ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਲੰਡਾ ਹਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਇਨ ਟੱਚ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਆਏ ਸੀ ਔਰ ਕੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਮਕਸਦ ਸਿਰਫ ਦਹਿਸ਼ਤ ਫੈਲਾਉਣਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਟਾਈਮ ਜੋ ਰਾਤ ਦਾ ਚੁਣਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਔਰ ਕੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਕਾਰਵਾਈ ਕਰਨੀ ਸੀ?
ਨਹੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਾਇਮਰਲੀ ਮਕਸਦ ਦਹਿਸ਼ਤ ਫੈਲਾਉਣਾ ਸੀਗਾ। ਇਨਫੈਕਟ only one of them was in contact with ਲੰਡਾ, ਦੂਜਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜੁਵੇਨਾਈਲ ਸੀਗਾ ਜੀ ਉਹ ਸੱਤੇ ਦੇ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਚ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ। ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਦੋਵੇਂ ਜੁਵੇਨਾਈਲਸ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਕੱਠਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ 9 ਤਾਰੀਖ ਨੂੰ आफ्टरनून।
जेल तो रची गई क्योंकि अजमीत सिंह वही है जिहड़ा कपड़ा व्यापारी दे मर्डर मामले च शामिल सीगा, जिहड़ा गुरजंट सिंह दा मर्डर होया सीगा, अजमीत वही है। हाँ जी देखो जी जेलों ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਫੀ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਰੋਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੌਜਡ ਹੈਗੇ ਉਹ ਪਲੇ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ। ਇਹ ਵੀ ਨੋਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ
All right, so that's the Punjab police briefing that has just concluded as they say that the case has been solved, and most importantly, Lakhbir Landa, as they are saying, is the mastermind behind that attack. Also, the Punjab police confirming Pakistan's role, saying that the 7 accused had Pakistan handlers. So those are the details that the Punjab police is now putting out of how a Soviet-era RPG was used in this attack. With that, it's time for us to slip into a very short commercial break. But on the other side, we get you detailed statement of Nitish Kumar, where he continues to stay defensive, and he's saying he has no sympathy for Hooch victims. Also, the intolerance debate that is back with Amitabh Bachchan's comment, questions being raised over the timing of the remark.
असली विलन तो तू है अपनी फैमिली का हीरो बनो यार। 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 390 रुपए महीने से शुरू फ्रॉम पॉलिसी बाजार।
Experience the motion picture event Avatar: The Way of Water in cinemas now.
आइए नए उत्तर प्रदेश की क्षमता और असीमित अवसरों से सफलता की नई कहानी लिखें। यूपी ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टर्स समिट 10 से 12 फरवरी 2023। नए भारत के ग्रोथ इंजन उत्तर प्रदेश में निवेश करें।
Come what may, with Apollo tires, have a wonderful day.
उठो जागो
गोली।
पर बाहर तो 10 लोग हैं।
10 हो या पूरी बस, अब तो बस 1 है तो डन है। इसको कोई वॉच कराओ। जब वॉचो में मिले ढेर सारे OTT एप्स एक ही प्लान में तो हर कोई बोलेगा वॉचो 1 है तो डन है।
वॉचो प्लान स्टार्टिंग एट जस्ट 42 रुपीज पर मंथ। आज ही सब्सक्राइब करें और पाएं सिलेक्ट प्लान्स पर 1 महीना कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री।
सोच रहा हूँ कमेंट्री ट्राई करूँ। मैच का आखिरी बॉल, तेज तूफानी डिलीवरी, एक धमाकेदार शॉट और ये गया छक्का।
छक्का नहीं, टूटा। आपके टाइल्स को चाहिए MYK लेटिक्रीट टाइल एडेसिव। फॉर्मूला ऐसा कि अब टाइल न टूटेगा न छूटेगा।
मजबूती डाली रूट्स में, दिख रहा सबूत रे। दूध से बना दूध रे, शुरू हुआ सब दूध से, बना दिया अटूट रे। दिख रहा सबूत रे, दूध से बना दूध रे, शुरू हुआ सब दूध से, शुरू हुआ सब दूध से।
I read the reports on what Minister Hina Rabani Khar said, and I was reminded more than a decade ago, if my memory serves me right, Hillary Clinton was visiting Pakistan, Islamabad, and Hina Rabani Khar was a minister at that time, and I think standing next to her, Hillary Clinton actually said that if you have, I'm giving you the sense, it's not an exact quote, that if you have snakes in your backyard, you can't expect them to bite only your neighbors. Eventually, they will bite the people who keep them in the backyard. But as you know, Pakistan is not great on taking good advice, and you see what's happening there. In terms of what they are saying, look, the truth is, everybody, the world today sees them as the epicenter of terrorism.
हाँ जी जी देखो जी ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਹ ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ ਲੰਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਹਰੀਕੇ ਤੋਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਸੱਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਨੌਸ਼ੇਰਾ ਪੰਨਵਾਸ ਤੋਂ ਸੋ
Your favorite service provider, Den, which gets you the best of entertainment, is back with something very special.
अभी मजा आएगा ना भिड़ो।
Your 3 favorite movie channels are bringing in super blockbuster films with features like wider picture and crystal clear sound straight to your home.
Wow. Oh, I love that expression.
To subscribe to your favorite channels, contact your local cable TV operator today or call Den toll-free number 1-800-419-2020 now.
India's biggest
fashion sale is back.
Rock that print, pinch that dress, show you my fashion flex. EORS.
Fashion's biggest sale.
Fashion's biggest sale is now live.
इससे बड़ा सेल नहीं मिलेगा.
Myntra end of reason sale. Shop now.
India welcomes those who further India's pride across the globe. Indian diaspora, partners of New India's growth journey in Amrit Kaal. Come and be a part of the 17th Pravasi Bharati Divas from 8th to 10th January 2023 at Indore, Madhya Pradesh, India. For registration, log on to pbdindia.gov.in.
It's party time with the RGO Big Bowl sale. 50 to 90% off on the world's biggest fashion brands. Download the app and shop now.
Hey Rahul, what's up?
Hey, kicked about our first date?
Of course.
Benefits up to rupees 30,000 only at the Citroën C3 Carnival. Book today.
ये है गेहूं। जब इसमें जुड़ता है रागी, जवार, बाजरा और मेथी तो बनता है हेल्दी मन्ना मल्टी मिलेट आटा। ये है बेहतर आटा।
मजबूती डाली रूट्स में बिखरा सबूत रे, दूध से बना दूध रे, शुरू हुआ सब दूध से, बना दिया अटूट रे, बिखरा सबूत रे, दूध से बना दूध रे, शुरू हुआ सब दूध से, शुरू हुआ सब दूध से।
The way of water connects all things. Before your birth and after your death.
Avatar, The Way of Water, in cinemas now.
You all are aware that all across the northern borders there are differing perception of the lines of actual control. And there are 8 recognized disputed areas where the lines of the differing perceptions are acknowledged by both sides. So in one of those areas where there is a differing perception of the LAC, the PLA patrol had transgressed and which was contested very firmly and resolutely by our forces on ground, which led to some amount of physical violence. But I'm happy to say that it was contained at the local level and resorting to the existing bilateral mechanisms and protocols which are in place. Though some minor injuries were there to people, soldiers of both sides, I would also like to request you not to listen to any rumors. There have been no major injuries. It's only minor injuries to soldiers from both sides.
Time for a short break. On the other side, Amitabh Bachchan picks up the intolerance debate yet again. He was on the stage with Mamata Banerjee where he questioned freedom of expression. Also, Karnataka Chief Minister Bommai gives it back to the Congress for backing Mangaluru terror-accused Sharik Mohammed.
$5 lakhs.
लोन चाहिए तो पैसाबाजार.com पर जाइए। लोन सही मिलेगा यहीं।
भैया जी हमला। भैया जी 10 गोलियां ले ले।
गोलियां नहीं रज्जा, गोली।
पर बाहर तो 10 लोग हैं।
10 हो या पूरी बस, अब तो बस 1 है तो डन है। इसको कोई वॉच कराओ। जब वॉचो मिले ढेर सारे ओटीटी ऐप्स एक ही प्लान में तो हर कोई बोलेगा वॉचो 1 है तो डन है।
Watch your plan starting at just 42 rupees per month. आज ही सब्सक्राइब करें और पाएं select plans पर 1 महीना complimentary.
India's biggest fashion sale is back. Rock that print, pinch that dress, show you my fashion flex. EORS.
Fashion's biggest sale.
Fashion's biggest sale is now live.
इससे बड़ा सेल नहीं मिलेगा.
Myntra end of reason sale. Shop now.
अगर मिठाई जंक फूड से है यारी तो डायबिटीज की कर लो तैयारी।
Get Beto's Diabetes Care Program with a free glucometer and expert advice. Give a missed call on 740 1100.
क्या हुआ रोहन, क्या सोच रहा है?
रिया पहली सैलरी मिली है
तुम भी कुछ आइडिया दो, एक्सपेंसेस को कैसे प्लान किया जाए।
रोहन, एक्सपेंसेस के साथ साथ इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान करना भी जरूरी है।
देखो, सैलरी का कुछ हिस्सा करके रेगुलर खर्चे के लिए और कुछ मैं अपने लिए भी तो सोच सकता हूँ ना, लेकिन इन्वेस्ट कहाँ करूँ?
सिंपल है, एनपीएस में।
एनपीएस में? भैया अभी तो मैंने कमाना शुरू किया है, इतना आगे के लिए अभी से क्यों पैसे जोड़ूं?
वो देखो, एक एक करके ईंट जोड़ी जाती है, तब जाके एक घर तैयार होता है। वैसे ही अभी से पैसे जोड़कर हम भी अपना रिटायरमेंट सुखी बना सकते हैं।
बात में तो दम है।
एनपीएस कम लागत वाली फ्लेक्सिबल लॉन्ग टर्म योजना है, जिससे आपकी बचत ग्रो होकर पेंशन का लाभ देती है।
अच्छा, फिर तो मैं अभी अपना एनपीएस अकाउंट ओपन करता हूँ।
जो कल की सोचते हैं वो आज से ही थोड़ा थोड़ा जोड़ते हैं।
पेंशन है तो टेंशन नहीं। एनपीएस में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है।
Everyone looks at the world today. At Hyundai, we go beyond with experiences that take us forward. Inspired by our today, we design your tomorrow. Some said electric is the future. We said, why stop there? At Hyundai, we are going beyond mobility, and you are welcome to join us.
Experience the motion picture event Avatar: The Way of Water in cinemas now.
जाग उठा एक राष्ट्र करने हर चुनौती का सामना, मातृभूमि की करने रक्षा उठा एक महायोद्धा। भारतवर्ष के अमर शूरवीरों में एक अध्याय, एक संग्राम और उसके नायक ब्रह्मपुत्र के शूरवीर लासित बोरफुकन।
The Tamil Nadu police have successfully stopped an auction from taking place in Christie's auction house in Paris, France, of a Shiva Natarajar idol that was stolen from a temple in Thoothukudi district more than 5 decades ago. And we have now understood that the Idol Wing CID police have contacted the Indian ambassador in France to make sure that this auction does not take place, which was scheduled to happen today. And at the same time, we are also learning that the Idol Wing CID police are trying their best to procure all kind of documents necessary to bring back this idol to India and restore it to the temple, Sri Kodanda Rameshwarar temple in Kayathar in Thoothukudi district, so that this idol can be restored safely and restore the peace and the traditions and the culture of the people in Thoothukudi district. Is Vashni Ramu along with camera person Dilip from Chennai for Republic TV.
Our Chief Minister Nitish Kumar rules out compensation. He says he has no sympathy for Hooch victims. Also, the intolerance debate is back with Amitabh Bachchan's comment, where questions raised over the timing of his remark.
Amity faculty have filed over 1,700 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
आपकी किचन और बाथरूम्स को चाहिए MYK लेटिक्रीट SP100 टाइल जॉइंट का ऑलराउंडर। MYK लेटिक्रीट SP100 जोड़ हो तो ऐसा।
अरे आप इतनी दूर हमारे लिए?
आपकी मेहनत कहां से कहां पहुंच रही है। मैं आपके एक साइन के लिए यहाँ नहीं आ सकता। हो गया आपका अकाउंट ओपन।
हर बंद राह ओपन हो सकती है, लगता है सिर्फ दिल।
धन्यवाद।
एक्सिस बैंक, दिल से ओपन।
The Navy gives me strength.
The Navy gives me support.
The Navy gives me success.
The Navy gives you more. Indian Navy, an ocean of opportunities.
Hey Rahul, what's up?
Hey, kicked about our first date?
Of course.
Benefits up to rupees 30,000 only at the Citroën C3 Carnival. Book today.
Reimagineering brighter futures with smarter steels. ArcelorMittal, Nippon Steel India. Smarter steels, brighter futures.
कुछ मेरा, कुछ तुम्हारा।
इसलिए ग्रीन लैम लैमिनेट्स, सपने आपके, लैमिनेट्स हमारा। अमेजिंग स्पेसेस के लिए कुछ मेरा, कुछ तुम्हारा।
भैया जी हमला! भैया जी 10 गोलियां ले ले।
गोलियां नहीं रज्जा, गोली।
पर बाहर तो 10 लोग हैं।
10 हो या पूरी बस, अब तो बस 1 है तो डन है। इसको कोई वॉच कराओ। जब वॉचो मिले ढेर सारे ओटीटी ऐप्स एक ही प्लान में, तो हर कोई बोलेगा वॉचो 1 है तो डन है।
वॉचो प्लान स्टार्टिंग एट जस्ट 42 रुपीज पर मंथ। आज ही सब्सक्राइब करें और पाएं सिलेक्ट प्लान्स पर 1 महीना कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री।
State Amitabh Bachchan says questions being raised on freedom of expression. Jaishankar puts Pakistan on the mat, says Pakistan must stop practicing terror.
करोगे इसका तो और ज्यादा हम प्रचार करवाएंगे। तो दारू पी के मर जाएगा तो उसको हम लोग कंपनसेशन देंगे, सवाल ही नहीं पैदा होता। ये कभी मत सोचिएगा।
Over 50 dead due to spurious liquor in Bihar, but Nitish Kumar says no question of compensation. Karnataka CM gives it back to Congress for backing Mangaluru terror accused Sharik. Punjab police says the Taran attack was plotted by Canada-based pro-Khalistan terror and handler was also in Pakistan. And GOC Eastern Command makes it clear Chinese aggression will be dealt with strongly by our forces at the LAC. Viewers, you're watching India's #1 news channel, Republic TV. I am Shivangi Shukla. We're getting you all the top updates this afternoon. In fact, let's start off with what happened on the international stage, where S. Jaishankar and who's representing our government said very, very clearly that terrorism will be dealt with in a very, very swift manner. Now remember that there was an interaction at the UN headquarters where S. Jaishankar has shot down a Pakistan quote-unquote reporter's question on terrorism when asked how long will South Asia see terrorism from New Delhi, Kabul, Pakistan, and how long will they be at war. Jaishankar hit out saying, and he made these comments saying, you are asking the wrong minister. It's the minister of Pakistan who will tell you how long Pakistan intends to practice terrorism. So we are seeing this very, very important session which has taken place where Jaishankar has made it clear that it is not India which is nurturing terrorism. The entire world knows it's Pakistan which is nurturing terrorism. Pakistan is also on the FATF list as well, and making it very, very clear that Pakistan, a Pakistani minister is the one who should be asked this question about terror. A very, very important and comment coming in from S. Jaishankar. Let's go ahead and see what Jaishankar said. He made it very clear it's the world, the entire world sees Pakistan as the epicenter of terror.
You're asking the wrong minister when you say how long will we do this, because it is the ministers of Pakistan who will tell you how long Pakistan intends to practice terrorism. So look, at the end of the day, the world is not stupid, the world is not forgetful, and the world does, increasingly call out countries and organizations and people who indulge in terrorism. And by taking that debate elsewhere, you're not going to hide it. You're not going to confuse anybody anymore. People have figured it out. So my advice is, please clean up your act. Please try to be a good neighbor. Please try and contribute to what the rest of the world is trying to do today, which is economic growth, progress, development.
So viewers, you heard that soundbite of S. Jaishankar where he said the world is not stupid. It knows which countries are indulging in terrorism. Also saying that this will be dealt with very swiftly. He's saying that Pakistan, it's time that Pakistan becomes a good neighbor. Let's hear the soundbite by S. Jaishankar.
I read the reports on what Minister Hina Rabani Khar said. And, I was reminded more than a decade ago, if my memory serves me right, Hillary Clinton was visiting Pakistan, Islamabad. And Hina Rabani Khar was a minister at that time. And I think standing next to her, Hillary Clinton actually said that if you have, I'm giving you the sense, it's not an exact quote, that if you have snakes in your backyard, you can't expect them to bite only your neighbors. Eventually, they will bite the people who keep them in the backyard. But as you know, Pakistan is not great on taking good advice, and you see what's happening there. In terms of what they are saying, look, the truth is everybody, the world today sees them as the epicenter of terrorism.
All right, viewers, so we just heard S. Jaishankar, and this is very interesting also because we are talking, next story is on Taran Taran RPG attack. There was an attack on the police station in Taran Taran where the police has said now that there has been some revelations. What are the revelations? Number one, now we have come to know that the mastermind of this was from Canada. Pro-Khalistan terror angle coming out, and the handlers were from Pakistan. I repeat, the handlers were from Pakistan. Very, very clear connection coming out. Let's have a listen in to what the police had said.
Police has solved the case of the RPG attack on Sarhali police station, which took place on December 9th at 11:18 p.m. In this attack, a Soviet-era made single-use 70 mm caliber RPG-26 was used, which was normally used by the Mujahideen, and it was sourced from across the border in a consignment. Investigation reveals that the mastermind of the conspiracy is Lakhbir Singh Landa, wanted terrorist who is sitting in Canada, who got it executed through his two Europe-based handlers, this Satbir Satta and Gurdev Jassal. Both of them are associates of Lakhbir Landa. They operated mainly through one Ajmer Singh of Naushera Panwa, who is Ajmeet Singh, who's lodged in Govindwal Sahib jail. And in this case, so far we have made 7 arrests. The arrested people include Gurpreet Singh Gopi Nambardar, resident of village Naushera Panua, Gurlal Singh Gela, resident of village Chola Sahib Taran, Gurlal Singh Lali, resident of village Thatiya Mahanta in district Taran, 2 juveniles, one of whom is from Taran proper, Taran city, and the second one is from village Talwandi Soba Singh, PS Sadarpatti, Jobanpreet Singh Jovan, who is also from village Naushera Panua. The recoveries include the RPG-26 and the launcher, which was recovered from the spot, a .32 bore pistol with 15 live bullets recovered from Gurlal Singh Gela, hand grenade P86 recovered from Gurpreet Singh Gopi Nambardar, 30 bore pistol and 35 live bullets recovered from Jobanpreet Singh Joban and Gurlal Lali jointly, and 32 bore pistol and 5 live bullets recovered from the 2 juveniles, and the motorcycle used in the crime has also been recovered. So this is a major success of the Punjab police against the ISI based terror module which was run by foreign handlers from abroad.
All right, viewers, let's go straight to our reporter. A reporter is joining us live at this point of time. Viewers, I'm being joined right now by Gursimran. Gursimran is joining us at this point of time. Let's go ahead to him. Gursimran, now very, very big pointers coming out from the Punjab police where the attack case has been solved, and what is very, very shocking as well, and at the same time not surprising, is that Pakistan's hand was involved here. Amandeep, can you hear me? All right, we'll just go straight to Amandeep in just a moment. But what we're learning so far, the mastermind was from Canada. So angle of Khalistan terror coming out. At the same time, we're learning that there was the Pakistani handlers were present. Pakistan was handling 6 accused, and a mastermind called Lakbir was a mastermind of this. We're also learning that Soviet era RPG was used in the attack. You can see those visuals on your screen as well, where the police has confirmed the Pakistan role. At the same time, remember that S. Jaishankar was asked about terrorism, and he gave a fitting reply at that point that it is Pakistan which is involved in terror activities. Let's go back to Amandeep. Amandeep, can you hear me right now? And you know, we're telling our viewers that if you can also tell our viewers more details coming out. The Punjab police has solved the case, and as usual, we are seeing a Pakistan hand there, which is not surprising, but at the same time, it's very concerning.
Well, absolutely, Shivangi. This entire plot was planned by Pakistan and in fact executed on the ground of Punjab. And even Pakistan has given this challenge to Lakbir Landa, and he hired further to Europe-based his associates to hire the on-ground workers. And 2 juveniles, I repeat, 2 juveniles were the attackers who fired the RPG at Seriali police station in Taran. And in fact, the most important point is that they both are unknown to each other. Both the juveniles driving on one bike fired RPG on the police station, but they don't know each other's name, they don't know each other's location, and in fact they got the training from YouTube videos. And even this entire execution of the RPG attack was paid off for 8.5 lakhs. The money has been given to the entire group who has actually planned and executed the entire RPG attack in Taran. 8.5 lakh is the money amount that has been given to the entire group, to the 10 people, just because 10 people are involved into this entire attack, and 6 has been arrested, landed into the police net as well. 4 are those who have provided the logistic supports, provided the bike, and 2 juveniles who actually fired the RPG on Seriali police station. And still 4 are still absconding in this entire episode, who have received the RPG from the cross border and who handed over to the attackers as well. So 4 people are still missing. They are still absconding from this entire case. ISI and Pakistan Intelligence Office is directly involved into this. They are the one who actually supplied this RPG from the cross border to Punjab to execute this plan. They are in touch with Lakbir Singh Landa to hand over this entire assignment and ask him to execute by hiring the on-ground workers for this RPG attack. ISI is the one who are facilitating the people who are trying to create the unrest in Punjab. ISI is the one who were direct in touch with the Lakhvir Singh Landa, who is sitting in presently Canada, and directing him what to do in Punjab and how to create the unrest on the ground of the Punjab. So this is how the conspiracy was hatched in Pakistan, and later the execution was planned in Canada and the attack happened in Taran. Yes, Shivangi.
All right, thank you, Amandeep, for getting us all the details. Amandeep joining us and getting us top details. The police reveal a global plot against India, and we are seeing a Khalistan hand. We're seeing a Pakistan hand as well in the Taran attack, RPG attack on a police station, where a global anti-India plot has been busted, and this case has been solved by the Punjab police.
Pakistani intelligence agency ISI. In this module, the school-going children were used as a pawn by the Pakistani side, and they were supplying the narcotics to the school-going girl who has been detained by the Jammu and Kashmir police. Important to mention that the Pakistan is in a bid to destabilize Jammu and Kashmir, and for that now they are resorting to the narcotics to lure the youth of Jammu and Kashmir, especially the border areas, and then totally destruct the future generation. The Pakistani ISI handler, a sheikh, was himself coming from Pakistan to the village ahead of the line of control to supply the consignment of narcotics to this girl who has been arrested by the Jammu and Kashmir police. And the major plot of the Pakistan was to put the youth of Jammu and Kashmir, the children of the border areas, into drugs so that they can totally destroy the future generation. With Vijay Parvez, Gursimran for Public Media Network.
Top national updates, viewers. Death toll in Bihar, Chhapra, due to the consumption of spurious liquor has now risen to 50, but the Bihar CM has stated that zero sympathy towards those who are drinking spurious liquor.
बिहार में जहरीली शराब से पीने वालों की संख्या जब शराबबंदी लागू नहीं था तब भी, और आज भी उसकी संख्या कम है। आज दूसरी जगह खूब जहरीली शराब, जहां शराबबंदी लागू नहीं है वहां भी जहरीली शराब पी के मर रहा है। टॉप पर है मध्य प्रदेश, हरियाणा कहां नहीं है, यूपी, सब जगह का देख लीजिए हिसाब किताब। तो जब अब बात यह है कि यहां जहरीली शराब पी के मरा, तो हम लोग तो इसका खूब प्रचार कर रहे हैं कि पियोगे मरोगे। अब उसी को दूसरे रूप में बता रहा है। तब इस तरह से मरता है तो दूसरा जगह क्या नहीं छापते हो?
The toll of dead in Bihar, Chhapra, Hooch tragedy has soared to 50, with 11 more people succumbing now after consuming spurious liquor in Saran district. 2 police officials were suspended immediately after the Tuesday night tragedy on the recommendation of the police officer. Most deaths have occurred over Wednesday and Thursday, creating an uproar both at the state and national level, as sale and consumption of alcohol has been banned in Bihar by the Nitish Kumar government since 2016.
53 लोगों के मौत का जिम्मेवार कौन? नीति बनाने वालों की जिम्मेवारी है नीति का अनुपालन। अगर वो विफल होते हैं और लोगों की जहरीली शराब से मौत होती है तो नीति बनाने वाले ही जिम्मेवार हैं इस पूरे मौत के लिए, और गरीबों का मौत है ये, और कोई ना कोई किसी को जवाब देना पड़ेगा। शायद अपने गलती का एहसास कई बार होता है, विफलता का एहसास होता है, अपने नियम कानून का एहसास होता है कि विफल हो गया, अपने प्रशासन का एहसास होता है विफलता का, और उसी का परिणाम है आक्रोश, गुस्सा, तिलमिलाना।
वो तो बोलते हैं जो पिएगा वो मरेगा, मैं तो कुछ नहीं।
शराब अगर अवैध जहरीला बिकेगा तो लोग मरेंगे, और वो व्यवस्था कहाँ से कायम होता है, ये बड़ा सवाल उठता है।
It has been 10 years of the horrific gang rape and murder of Nirbhaya in the national capital. Nirbhaya's mother, Rasha Devi, said that most sexual assault of survivors are speaking up now, but the city is still unsafe for women.
अगर अब हम ध्यान से देखते हैं तो 2012 से 2022 के बीच में कुछ भी नहीं बदला है, और बल्कि हालात बदतर से बदतर होती जा रही हैं कि बच्चियों के साथ अलग अलग टेक्निकली तरीके से उनके साथ बर्बरता हो रही है, उनके साथ गैंग रेप हो रहे हैं, उनको काट दे रहे हैं, उनको कुछ भी कर रहे हैं।
After Poonawalla, who is the key accused in the horrific Shraddha murder case, has applied for bail, Delhi court is likely to hear the matter on Saturday. Shraddha's father and family members met Madhukar Pandey, the police commissioner. BJP leader Kirit Sumaya was also with the family.
मेरी बेटी ने जो नवंबर 2020 में जो कंप्लेंट की उसके बारे में मुझे कुछ जानकारी चाहिए थी। उसी बारे में मैंने कंप्लेंट की है कि वो हमें बैंक डिक्लेरेशन के लिए मुझे शायद आगे चल के केस के लिए काम आएगी, इसके लिए मैंने ये कंप्लेंट दी है।
सर कमिश्नर से आपको क्या बात कमिश्नर
उन्होंने कहा है कि हम इसके ऊपर कार्रवाई करेंगे, आगे देखते हैं।
Shah Rukh Khan's recent movie has been facing protests over alleged obscene scenes in the newly released song. Bajrang Dal seized a massive protest in Bhopal against the movie. The press release, Bajrang Dal Bhopal unit has stated that it's an attempt to humiliate the Hindu faith. The world sees Pakistan as the epicenter of terrorism, and Islamabad should clean up its act and try to be a good neighbor. External Affairs Minister Ajay Shankar said that, recalling US leader Hillary Clinton's blunt message to India's neighbor that snakes in one's backyards will eventually bite those who keep them. He added that the world sees Pakistan as the epicenter of terrorism and should clean up its act and try to be a good neighbor. Ajay Shankar has said, asserting that the world has not forgotten where the menace stems from.
You know, I was reminded more than a decade ago, if my memory serves me right, Hillary Clinton was visiting Pakistan, Islamabad. And Hina Rabani Khan was a minister at that time. And I think standing next to her, Hillary Clinton actually said that if you have, I'm giving you the sense, it's not an exact quote, that if you have snakes in your backyard, you can't expect them to bite only your neighbors. Eventually, they will bite the people who keep them in the backyard. But as you know, Pakistan is not great on taking good advice, and you see what's happening there.
The huge success of Tamil Nadu police at the idol wing, CID successfully stopped the auctioning of a bronze idol of Shiva Nataraj in France, which was stolen.
So we've been doing this idol restitution work in the wing. And this year we had actually we had sent 60 proposals for EMLA to bring back the idols. So in all these cases, what we were doing was, after the auction houses sell it to the museum, and from the museum we were trying to get it back.
General Officer Commanding in Chief Eastern Command, Lieutenant General Rana Pratap Kalita, took note of the recent border skirmish between Indian troops and Chinese soldiers in the Tawang sector of Arunachal Pradesh by saying that the transgression by the People's Liberation Army patrol was contested firmly. He also informed that a flag meeting at the delegation level had helped in further resolving the matter.
As a military man, we are always prepared to safeguard our nation, whether in peace or in conflict. Our primary task is to ensure territorial integrity of the country against any external threat as well as internal threat. So I would say that we are prepared for all eventualities and all contingencies.
In 1971, war was a triumph of humanity over inhumanity and justice over injustice, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said on the occasion of Vijay Divas that marks India's decisive victory over Pakistan, which led to the birth of Bangladesh. S. J. Shankar also saluted the brave Indian armed forces whose valour led to the victory in the war. Viewers, we continue to be live and breaking. Much more coming up on the other side. Over 50 dead due to spurious liquor in Bihar. But Nitish Kumar says no question of compensation. And Karnataka CM gives it back to the Congress for backing Mangaluru terror accused Sharik.
A movement transforming millions of lives in rural Maharashtra. An initiative empowering communities to transform their own lives. A journey that is changing the face of rural India.
A holistic area where we want to make impact across everything that affects people's life, with the holy grail being livelihood to sort of empower them.
Catch the stories of aspiration on Swadesh Foundation's Swa Se Bane Desh at these times only on Republic TV.
India's biggest fashion sale is back. Biggest deals on sneakers, yes. Should have splurged a little less. EORS.
Fashion's biggest deals, yes.
Fashion's biggest sale is now live.
इससे बड़ा सेल नहीं मिलेगा.
Myntra end of reason sale. Shop now.
Your favorite service provider, Den, which gets you the best of entertainment, is back with something very special.
अभी मजा आएगा ना भिड़ो.
Your 3 favorite movie channels are bringing in super blockbuster films with features like wider picture and crystal clear sound straight to your home.
Wow. Oh, I love that expression.
To subscribe to your favorite channels, contact your local cable TV operator today or call Den toll-free number 1-800-419-2020 now.
आज की पेशकश.
अच्छी है, पर ये चाय रोज मिलेगी?
रिटायर होने वाला हूँ, रोज नहीं, लाइफ लॉन्ग मिलेगी. ये मेरी गारंटी है.
कुछ चीजों का साथ हमेशा होना चाहिए, जैसे HDFC Life Annuity Plans, जो दे लाइफ लॉन्ग मंथली गारंटीड इनकम. HDFC Life, सर उठा के जियो.
Come what may, with Apollo Tires, have a wonderful day.
India welcomes those who further India's pride across the globe. Indian diaspora, partners of New India's growth journey in Amritkal. Come and be a part of the 17th Pravasi Bharati Divas from 8th to 10th January 2023 at Indore, Madhya Pradesh, India. For registration, log on to pbdindia.gov.in.
The way of water connects all things. Before your birth and after your death.
Avatar, The Way of Water, in cinemas now.
All right, viewers, getting some big breaking news coming in at this point of time. Big breaking coming in, viewers, at this point of time. What we know so far is that actor Rakul Preet summoned by the ED, viewers. That's a big news coming in. Rakul Preet has been asked to appear on December 19th in front of the ED, the Enforcement Directorate. That's a big news coming in. Very soon I'll be joined by my colleague and senior editor Shravan Sen to help us understand why she has been summoned. But very soon, viewers, we'll get him. But this is the big news coming in. One more actor being asked to appear on December 19th. This time it's Rakul Preet. She has been summoned by the ED. That's what we're learning so far at this point of time. Rakul Preet summoned by the ED. She'll be appearing before the ED on December 19th. On December 19th, that's what we're learning so far. Rakul Preet is an Indian actress who works in Telugu, Hindi and Tamil films, and she has made her actor debut with Kannada films. So she has won several awards as well. But right now, what we're learning so far is that the actor has been now summoned by the ED, and she will be appearing before it on December 19th. Aneri is joining us live. Good afternoon, Aneri. Why has Rakulpreet been asked to appear before the ED?
Well, Shivangi, we have been seeing that the Enforcement Directorate have now served notice to the Tollywood actor Rakulpreet Singh. Well, we are yet to get confirmation in regard with which case she has been served notice, but yes, we have a confirmation that Rakulpreet Singh has been asked to appear before the Enforcement Directorate on the 19th of December, that is on Monday. She will be appearing before the Enforcement Directorate, and Hyderabad Enforcement Directorate had served notice to Rakulpreet Singh in connection with a drug case. Well, there's no clarity in regard with whether it's the 2017 Tollywood drug case or the Bangalore drug case, but yes, Enforcement Directorate have issued notice to the Tollywood actor Rakulpreet Singh in connection with a drug case and further investigation, because earlier also, not to forget, Rakulpreet Singh had appeared before the Enforcement Directorate in connection with a drug case, and now we see that once again ED has served notice to Rakulpreet Singh, the Tollywood actor, and she has been asked to appear before the Enforcement Directorate on the 19th of December. So more details in that regard is yet to be coming in, but yes, what we have been told is that sources have confirmed that a notice to Rakulpreet Singh has been issued, and also at the same time she will be appearing before the Enforcement Directorate in Hyderabad on the 19th of December.
Right. All right. So Anil is getting us all the details right now. Actor Rakulpreet summoned by the ED. We also know that Rakulpreet has been asked to appear on December 19th. Aniri is getting us all the top details on this story. Aniri, also take us through exactly, what is the evidence the ED is banking on to summon her?
Well, Shivangi, we had seen that earlier also when the Enforcement Directorate had issued notice and she had also appeared before the questioning before the Enforcement Directorate. There were a few transaction bank details which were being checked by the ED, and also then because she earlier also she has been involved in a drug case, in the Tollywood drug case. So now we are yet to get a clarity in regard with in which case she has been served notice. But yes, what we are being told is that Enforcement Directorate has served notice to Rakulpreet Singh and she has been asked to appear before the Enforcement Directorate on the 19th of December. But which case it is, we are yet to get clarity on that. But also further investigation will be taken up into this matter, because earlier also she has appeared before the Enforcement Directorate in connection with a drug case. So whether it's the same case or not remains to be seen. But yes, on the 19th of December, Rakulpreet Singh has to appear before the Enforcement Directorate as she has been served notice by the ED today.
Right. All right. And also take us through, this is not the first time that an actor like Rakulpreet has been asked to be, has been summoned by the ED. Take us through exactly the other actors also. Are the other actors also in the ambit of the ED right now in the drugs case?
Well, no, Shivangi, as of now, right now we have seen that Rakulpreet Singh is the only one who has been served notice. The fresh notice which we are talking about right now, this is one more new notice which has been given to the Tollywood actor Rakulpreet Singh. Earlier also there were notices which were served to various other actors in connection with the Tollywood 2017 Tollywood drug case. But now this is once again a new notice which has been served by the Enforcement Directorate, because a few months back there was questioning. There was continuous questioning in regard with the Tollywood drug case which was in the 2017. Various actors were summoned in that, but now, as of now, when we are talking right now also, Enforcement Directorate has issued a fresh notice to Tollywood actor Rakulpreet Singh and she has been asked to appear before the Enforcement Directorate. Well, what we are also being told is that she would be appearing before the ED, and also at the same time we also have been seeing that how earlier there was questioning which was taken up for hours together. Various actors were being questioned in connection with the Tollywood drug case of 2017. But now we once again we are yet to get confirmation whether it's the Tollywood drug case or the Bangalore drug case in which Rakulpreet Singh has been summoned. So we'll have to wait for further details in that regard. But yes, Enforcement Directorate has served notice to Rakulpreet Singh and she has been asked to appear before the ED in Hyderabad on the 19th of December.
Right. Aniri, stay on with us. I just want to go across to my colleague, Suesha, who is in the Delhi studio. Suesha, very good afternoon to you. Many top updates coming in right now, Suesha. Go ahead and tell our viewers about that.
Absolutely, and that's the latest development as Shivangi gets us Shivangi, I beg your pardon, gets us details of actor Rakul Preet, who has been summoned. We'll keep a very close eye on this story. But most importantly, getting you details of how Bollywood is now in focus after what happened at the Kolkata Film Festival, where actor Amitabh Bachchan was also present, and the intolerance debate that has once again taken center stage, with Amitabh Bachchan questioning freedom of expression and civil liberties. Listen into those statements that were made.
Finally, the 1952 Cinematograph Act set out the structure of censorship as it stands today, upheld by the Film Certification Board. But even now, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure my colleagues on stage will agree, questions are being raised on civil liberties and freedom of expression. Finally, the 1952 Cinematograph Act set out the structure of censorship as it stands today, upheld by the Film Certification Board. But even now, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure my colleagues on stage will agree, questions are being raised on civil liberties and freedom of expression.
কিন্তু বাংলা থেকে আওয়াজ আমরা তুলব ভারত রত্ন অমিতাভ বচ্চনজি, এবং আমি মনে করি তাকে ভারত রত্ন দেওয়া উচিত। এরকম আইকন আর পাবেন না দীর্ঘদিন ধরে যেভাবে তিনি ফিল্মে কাজ করছেন। তিনি মানুষ হিসেবেও খুব বড় মহান, তাকে আমাদের কৃতজ্ঞতা জানাচ্ছি। তিনি এসেছেন এবং বিস্তারিতভাবে আমরা কেউ যেটা বলতে পারবো না সেটা তিনি বলেছেন।
तो पीपल अगर चाहेंगे तो सब हो सकता, तो इसीलिए फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच को लेकर, सोशल मीडिया में घमंड को लेकर जो जो हो रहा है इधर अंदर आरएस और एलएस उन्होंने बीजेपी एमपीओं के ऊपर जो जो हो रहा है, मोदी है तो मुमकिन है के खातिर पीपल ही एक है वो लास्ट वर्ड कह सकता, और हमको यकीन है कि 2024 में वो लास्ट वर्ड बताएंगे 2021 बंगाल की तरह।
All right, so that is what happened at the Kolkata Film Festival, where it is the intolerance debate that has once again taken center stage. Actor Amitabh Bachchan, who made that statement, where he questioned civil liberties and the lack of freedom. Also, Shah Rukh Khan, who was present at that event, and he said it is the narrowness of social media that is leading to a certain narrative. And we are now moving on to more breaking news coming in, as these are details of the ED summons. I believe Shavan is already with us.
Well, in fact, we're getting you a special broadcast as Chinese continue with their aggression. The bigger question here is how exactly the Tibetan population here in India essentially reacting to it. We have a very special guest joining us today. We have Penpa sharing. He's the elected president of the Central Tibetan Administration. He's joining us on this broadcast. Mr. Shering, thank you very much for joining us on Republic TV.
Thank you for having
me. We're
talking
talking about the fact that the Chinese essentially are continuing with their aggression. First, it was in Ladakh, and now it is in the eastern sector. And this very specific place that I want to talk about, where the aggression actually took place, which was completely thwarted by the Indian army, it holds great significance to the Tibetan population. The 6th Dalai Lama was born there. I want to straight away take this first question with you. How does the Tibetan administration really look at this recent attempt by the Chinese to continue and capture significant heights?
Tawang is important for the Tibetans because Tawang is on the border with Tibet. And the 6th Dalai Lama was born there. And this is not the first time that a Dalai Lama was born outside Tibet. The 3rd Dalai Lama was also born in Mongolia. Therefore, the relationship between the people of Tawang and people of Tibet are very close. It's not just the Tawang area, but most of the people on the Himalayan region are very close to the Tibetans because we share common cultures, a common religion, which again came from India. As I keep saying that the Tibetan religion came from India, Tibetan language came from India, and we are an extension of one part of ancient Indian wisdom. And we are also a repository of one part of ancient Indian culture. So therefore, the relation between Tawang and we abide by the international agreement that we had Tibet as an independent country with British India, whose legacy has been transferred over to the government of India. And as Tibetans, we follow the McMahon line. We fail to understand why China is, entering into unprovoked belligerence on areas that are inhospitable, unlivable, inhabitable. The only reason I could think is that China is very insecure as of today. And as one of the symptoms that we witnessed was last month's protests in many parts of China. So when Chinese government itself is not very sure of the sustainability of the Communist Party, then they keep these hotspots burning. Otherwise, there is no reason for China to be belligerent and that too unprovoked on the Indian border. Because of the insecurity, they keep some of these hotspots burning, whether it's India or South China Sea or Taiwan. So when there is a threat to the sustainability of the Communist Party, they will attack one of these areas to instill nationalism among the Chinese population so that the communism does not fall.
Mr. Shering, you make a very important point, the attempt that has been made by the Chinese to divert the attention. But there is the other issue. This latest intrusion bid essentially comes just about a month after your visit to Arunachal Pradesh. Do you believe that somewhere down the line, this is yet another attempt that has been made by the Chinese administration to try and assert themselves and make a point as far as Arunachal Pradesh is concerned?
As far as I'm concerned, we don't want to take the credit or take the blame, but my visit to Arunachal Pradesh was more to meet with the Tibetan communities in that state and to strengthen our cooperation and relationship. It has nothing to do with the political situation between Tibet and China or India and China. If Chinese government is making more than what we have intentioned, then it is up to them to be suspicious of every move from the Indian government side. And as a Tibetan, as a leader of the Tibetan community, it is incumbent upon me to meet with my people, and that is my right to do so. And the Indian government has the right to allow or not allow anybody to visit any part of India. It's not in the Chinese hands.
But do you somewhere down the line essentially believe that there is an element of fear among the Chinese, especially given the fact that Arunachal Pradesh is emerging as a resurgent center for the Tibetans in exile, a safer place for the Tibetan Buddhists, and that in itself somehow unnerves the Chinese, because what they seem to be essentially loving is a situation where they want a control over it, and that control they aren't getting, and that is exactly why it comes across as an element of fear among the Chinese.
I think whether it's fear or insecurity, these are two sides of the same coin. And as I said before, insecurity is prompting the Chinese army to take up these actions, which is not in conformity with international law. And then at the same time, we Tibetans follow Buddhism, and we believe in the ancient wisdom of compassion and love and peace. But unfortunately, Chinese don't understand this language. And Tibetans have been living in Arunachal since the time we came into exile. It's not something new. Our people have been there for a long time. And I don't think it is necessarily only because of Chinese living in Tawang, but the larger issue of what Indian analysts also call it as a measure for China to contain India, because China does not want any other competition in the Asian region apart from themselves. And that's also the reason why China never treated India as equal, whereas when they talk about United States, then they always complain that United States is not treating them equal. So there are always paradoxes in Chinese minds as to how they treat other people. So let us say, in the case of Palestine also, China claims that Palestine should be a separate state. And then how about Tibet? How about people in East Turkestan or Mongolia, or people in Hong Kong? So China doesn't look at themselves. They always like pointing fingers at other countries as to where things are going wrong. They never do any inward looking to find out problems within themselves and how it needs to be resolved.
But we're talking in the 21st century, and as the Prime Minister essentially has been indicating that this is not an era of war. Unfortunately, what is really happening is that Chinese are trying to destabilize the region. And as the Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister says, that this is not India of 1962, and something that the Chinese are well aware of it. But despite that, look at what has happened. First it was Doklam, then you see what has happened in Galwan, and overall the entire picture that you are looking at, look at the way the Chinese have responded when it comes to Taiwan. Are they really missing out something? Are they misreading the current situation? And why this sort of a belligerent attitude? And this has only intensified over the last few years. I want you to weigh in on this entire changing mindset of the Chinese, especially when it appears to be completely a big misadventure on the part of the Chinese.
I'm sure Chinese government will need to have a relook at their policy towards India. This is very, very, very unfortunate that the actions taken by the Chinese government is neither helping China or India or improving relationship between India and China, because for a fact we know that Prime Minister Modi ji made serious attempts in getting the relationship back on track. But even after 2 visits by President Xi to India and 2 visits by Prime Minister Modi to China, things have taken the other way. Instead of improving, it has been deteriorating. So these incursions by China is dangerous, because these are 2 most powerful nations in Asia, and both are nuclear powers. And if it escalates beyond a certain point, then there will be a lot of concerns for both the people of China and India. So it is best, as we always say, one part of Chinese brain is missing. That is the common sense part of the brain. So if common sense prevails in the minds of the Chinese leadership, then they will understand that unprovoked belligerence does not help in bringing building the relationship better with India, which is very necessary. When people talk about the Asian century and all that, if there is no cooperation and collaboration between Asian countries for mutual benefit, then it's not going to work. But material development alone is not going to bring in happiness for the people. So therefore, Chinese government will need to look at the aspiration of the Chinese people, aspiration of the Tibetan people, aspiration of the Uyghurs, Mongols, Hong Kongers, and Taiwanese, and try to understand their position and find new ways of living in peace with each other. That is the need of the hour.
Mr. Shering, I want to now focus a little bit about India's role. Do you believe that perhaps India needs to be far more proactive rather than being reactive when it comes to the Chinese, especially the claims that are being made by the Chinese? China's claim on Tibet. Do you essentially believe that it is high time that we need to take a slightly more aggressive position?
I feel, of course, the word aggressive itself is very wide, so it'll be difficult to bring it into a context. But India traditionally has been a peaceful country, so it never provoked any other country. It was never belligerent, unprovoked. So therefore, India's position has always been defensive instead of being offensive. And the offensive also does not bring matters to a solution. So therefore, India's position in the last few years have strengthened, because from 2010, India has refused to reiterate statements like Tibet being part of PRC or China's One China policy, because if India has to follow the One China policy, then China also will have to follow One India policy. So these are strong gestures, and unless there is total disengagement from all the sectors where Chinese have intruded, the Indian government is very firm on its position that there will be no normalization of relations. So therefore, it is very important for India to stand their ground and stand on their position and be strong in their response to the Chinese aggression. Otherwise, China will keep continuing to do so in future. But if India is more strong in their position, which is taking its shape now, so then China will also have to think many times over before they undertake another misadventure like this. Because
Mr. Shering, I would just like to digress a little bit, but there is a reason behind why I'm making this attempt. For Indians who always look up to the teachings of the Dalai Lama, his views on several matters, he hasn't really spoken on political issues. We are aware of it. But having said that, I'm sure you've had some sort of an interaction with him. Is there anything that he has to say on this entire matter? And this is not the first time that has happened. He's been witnessing this over the last few years, and it has only intensified. What is it that the Dalai Lama essentially has to say on matters like this, when we are looking at unprovoked aggression by the Chinese time and again, and India has always perhaps in some way or the other followed the teachings of the Dalai Lama, and our approach, our responses have been quite similar to what perhaps you all essentially believe in?
I did not have a specific the updating of news to His Holiness on this particular issue, and I've never asked him on this. But as you know, His Holiness has always is a proponent of peace and non-violence and compassion. So any kind of violence will not be appreciated by His Holiness. So therefore, I think it should be understood. But from the perspective of now His Holiness, having devolved all his political and administrative responsibilities to the elected leadership, His Holiness make it a point not to comment on political issues. But that does not mean to say that His Holiness is in any way supporting violence. He has always been against violence, and the message of peace should prevail. I can't tell you exactly what His Holiness is thinking on this, but I can assure you that His Holiness does not appreciate any violence, any unprovoked belligerence, and we abide by the McMahon line that was signed between British India and the legacy that was transferred to Indian government, independent India. And we stick by those terms, and we stand with the government of India and the people of India when China is undertaking such belligerence. And it's going to be very, very difficult for China to win the confidence of the Indian people and the Indian leadership in the times to come if China continues to follow this path.
Mr. Cherik, just one quick question before I let you go. We're running out of time, but you've understood the Chinese mind. You've read the Chinese mind for a very long time. Do you essentially believe that there would be a day, perhaps, the Chinese would finally understand that they need to be the good neighbor? What in today's era we need to talk about is development, progress, and the happiness of the population. But do you believe there would be a time when the Chinese would understand that and the incursions would come to an end, or you still believe with the current Chinese president becoming far more stronger, this is only going to continue because that's the way, that's the new Chinese way of thinking?
Yeah, it's both good and bad, because when one person becomes too powerful, then if that person behaves in the manner that people aspire for, then it's good for everybody. But if the leader is behaving in a manner that goes against the aspiration of the Tibetan people or the people that they rule, then they're going to have problems eventually. And if we look at Xi Jinping's policies today, it doesn't look very rosy, because Xi Jinping's policy of one nation, one culture, one language is aimed at eradication of all other identities, national identity of the nationalities in China, and therefore it does not bode very well for the Chinese leadership in future. And as Buddhists, we believe in impermanence of nature, and Western psychologists also say that change is the only constant. And we believe that China will change. If common sense does not go into the head of the present leadership, they will and they have to be changed in China. There is no doubt about it. And sometimes I even talk about whether the Dalai Lama will outlive the Communist Party or the Communist Party will outlive the Dalai Lama.
Huh? Mr. Cherik, thank you very much for speaking to Republic TV. I would only request you to perhaps also stay on with us for a few more minutes. My colleague from our sister channel would be also joining us in a short while from now. But thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to have you on Republic TV and send across that message of peace and prosperity. What's the need of the hour? I'm hopeful that the Chinese are essentially listening to what you have to say, and the world would also listen to you. This at a time when our Prime Minister has always been indicating that this is not the era of war. This is the time when all countries should be working together for the betterment of their own people. Thank you very much for speaking to Republic TV.
Thank you.
With that, we step into a short commercial break on Republic TV. GOC Eastern Command has made it clear that Chinese aggression will be dealt with strongly by our forces at the LAC.
Eugenics celebrated Festival of Friendship with clients and friends to mark its successful journey.
Trying to make more people aware about the school and how generosity can really empower our society. And I come from a very, very humble background from my village, and with the help as well as endorsement of a lot of generous people, I could come to a point that with a lot of humility I can say that people consider eugenics as the best as of today in the whole world. We are not going to relax at that laurel. We are going to work hard to become much better. This festival of friendship is to just make more people aware about about the school as well as how practicing the Western efficiency with Eastern spiritual values can make you have bigger heights, and you can really be a pole star in your line. So it is all about that.
Eugenics, which is at the forefront of driving medical tourism in hair transplant, also spoke about its growing popularity and recognition across the globe.
So what the people are doing is they are coming, getting the procedure and flying back home as soon as possible. The other scenario is the advantage of work from home. So people, they are coming to India, they are working from home only at remote location in India, and at the same time they are utilizing this opportunity to visit good places like Taj Mahal and other areas in Rajasthan.
Eugenics is one of the fastest emerging hair transplant centers in India, and they have been endorsed internationally.
We are very grateful and happy to announce that we are endorsed by many reputed international forums which are there in the field of hair transplant for more than a decade now, like hairrestorationnetwork.com, hairtransplantmentor.com, baldtoothtalk.com, hairlossexperiences.com, International Hair Loss Forum.
अगर तू हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस नहीं लेगा तो हॉस्पिटल का लंबा बिल तू अपनी जेब से भरेगा। 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 390 रुपए महीने से शुरू। पॉलिसी बाजार।
India's big.
Viewers, getting some big breaking news coming in at this point of time. Visuals coming in of the BJP protesting against the comment made by Bilawal against the Prime Minister. Getting in visuals of the BJP protest at the Pakistan High Commission in the national capital after Bilawal comment against the Prime Minister, and those are the visuals coming in. Big anger over Bilawal's comment against Prime Minister Modi after Pakistan had made a shameless comment. The visuals coming in on your screen, the big development coming in at this point of time, viewers, where a very, very personal attack was made on PM Modi by the Pakistani foreign minister to counter India's terror charges against Pakistan, where once again they repeated false and baseless allegations. But right now, viewers, what we're getting for you so far is that there's a big protest happening in the national capital, where the BJP is protesting at the Pakistan High Commission. The visuals coming in at this point of time, viewers, visuals coming in. Remember, the Pakistani foreign minister has made a very, very personal attack on the Prime Minister. I repeat, a personal attack on the Prime Minister. All right, Harsha is joining us live at Harsha, let's go straight to you. Harsha, what is happening where you are right now? Looks like the BJP is protesting at the Pakistan High Commission.
Exactly, Shivangi. I'll show you the visuals as the Delhi BJP and the workers are protesting against Pakistani foreign minister, not only against Bilawal Bhutto, but against the entire Pakistan. And they are very angry supporters and karyakartas everywhere. You can see the hoardings, the poster, the banners against Pakistan, which is here, and huge crowd could be seen at Teen Murti Chowk. This is the direct lane which goes towards Pakistan embassy, and here, as controversial and a personal attack was made on our Prime Minister by Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Bilawal Bhutto. So we are showing you the visuals from here. As you see, there are so many karyakartas here. We'll directly speak to them. Sir, Bilawal Bhutto का इतना पर्सनल अटैक हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी के खिलाफ, उसको लेकर के आक्रोश कितना है?
अपने गिरेबान में झांके पूरे विश्व में कहीं भी जिसका इतना भी आसान नहीं हो, वो देश विश्व में जिसकी अपनी ख्याति है देश के प्रधानमंत्री जी के, उसके बारे में अगर बकना वो उनके चरित्र को दर्शाता है। हम भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता इस बात का बहुत विरोध करते हैं, और आज हम लोग पूरे भारतीय जनता पार्टी कार्यकर्ता सभी कार्यकर्ताओं के साथ इस बात के विरोध के लिए पाकिस्तान एम्बेसी पे प्रदर्शन करेंगे।
सर, एक एक और बात, जब जब पाकिस्तान से सवाल पूछा जाता है कि आप आतंकवाद को पनाह देते हैं, तब तक वो हमारे देश पर अटैक करते हैं। ऐसा नहीं लगता कि उन पर जो प्रहार किया था वो बिल्कुल सही था, क्योंकि वो लंबे समय से आतंकवाद के पनाहगाह रही है।
हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री मोदी साहब हैं, कोई हल्का आदमी हमारा प्रधानमंत्री नहीं है। हम ईंट का जवाब पत्थर से देना चाहते हैं, और जब सूरज रोशनी पे उगता है तो जुगनुओं के चमकने से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। बिलावल भुट्टो एक टुच्चा आदमी है, अगर टुच्ची बातें कर रहा है कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, यूजलेस आदमी है।
These are the supporters and workers of BJP who are protesting here. As you can see, the entire Teen Murti Chowk is full of the protesters and workers of Delhi BJP who are protesting with banners and posters in their hand. They have the flag of BJP, and they're clearly stating that the controversial remark and the very personal attack made on Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India is not going to stand with it, because this is what Pakistan has to be given back. Because such a bad statement which has been given, because yes, Pakistan supports terrorism and it is true what these कार्यकर्तास have been saying. Sir, इतना आक्रोश है, जब जब पाकिस्तान से सवाल किया जाता है उनके आतंकवाद का, वो हमारे देश में प्रहार करते हैं, और आज तो हद हो गई जब प्राइम मिनिस्टर पर इतना पर्सनल अटैक किया गया।
इतना बड़ा भिखमंगा देश, जिनको अपनी जनता को, अपने देश की जनता को रोटी खिलाने के लिए कोई ताकत नहीं है, और वो आतंकवाद पे पैसा खर्च कर रहा है। भारत उसका जवाब देता है। नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में आज भारत सशक्त है, मजबूत है, कुछ कर नहीं पा रहे हैं। अपनी बौखलाहट बयान दे करके अपने देश की जनता को भरमाता है, तो कर तो कुछ नहीं सकता, लेकिन ऐसे उल्टे सीधे बयान दे करके वो भरमा रहा है लोगों को।
आपको लगता है जरूरत है भी ये बताने की कि भारत ताकतवर है और अब इस तरह के स्टेटमेंट बर्दाश्त नहीं करेगा?
नहीं, भारतवर्ष सक्षम है, ताकतवर है, सब देखो में पूरे विश्व में भारत का नाम है। पाकिस्तान तो 2 घंटे भी भारत का नहीं झेल पाएगा अगर भारत अपने वाली पे आ जाए। फिर भी भारत सबके साथ तालमेल करके चलना चाहता है, पर पाकिस्तान ऐसी अत्र भाषा का प्रयोग करते हुए, जैसे हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री के लिए बहुत नीच हरकत करते हुए बातें कर रहा है।
These are the visuals. We'll show you the entire Teen Murti Chowk. As you can see, the huge gathering of protesters here actually, and they are very angry against the statement which has been made by Pakistan Foreign Minister against Prime Minister Narendra Modi. मैम, आप लोग बैनर पोस्टर लेकर के पहुंचे हैं, किस तरह से धरना अब आगे जाएगा? क्योंकि बीजेपी, दिल्ली बीजेपी से लीड कर रही है, पाकिस्तान एम्बेसी में जाकर कोई नोटिस देंगे, कोई कंप्लेन का कोई चिट्ठी दी जाएगी?
अभी देखो, अभी तो यहाँ पर ये धरना प्रदर्शन करा जा रहा है कि पाकिस्तान मुर्दाबाद के नारे लगाए जा रहे हैं, और आगे अभी हम जाएंगे, सभी इकट्ठे होकर के चलेंगे।
So these are the visuals as we show you, because Tejasvi Surya, Ramveer Singh Bituri, who is the LOP, and all are protesting here. And here we'll get you into the middle. We will go along with our video journalist. Bisham will go into the middle, where exactly the leaders of BJP are here, who are leading this entire protest, because very angry protesters could clearly be seen here. Huge BJP supporters are protesting against Bilawal Bhutto. Sir, इतना आक्रोश है हमारी देश की जनता में, क्योंकि इतना भद्दा रिमार्क जो हमारे देश के प्राइम मिनिस्टर को लेकर दिया गया।
ये बड़ी शर्मनाक घटना हुई है, जो प्रधानमंत्री जी को बुरा भला कहा गया है। ये ऐसा पहली बार नहीं हुआ। ये पाकिस्तान ये समझ ले कि 130 करोड़ जनता ये सारी उनको सबक सिखाने के लिए तैयार बैठी है, और आइंदा ये दोबारा कभी ऐसी हरकत न करे। जो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री की तरफ आग उठाएगा उसे चूर चूर कर दिया जाएगा, और उसको जो है बिलावल भुट्टो को ये माफ़ी मांगनी चाहिए। सभी चैनलों के माध्यम से ये बिलावल भुट्टो देश के प्रधानमंत्री से माफ़ी मांगे, और ये पाकिस्तान को समझ लेना चाहिए कि यहाँ की जनता ये बर्दाश्त नहीं करेगी।
So we are showing you the visuals. We'll go ahead because the barricading has been done. The entire Teen Murti Chowk has been blocked. So ये पूरा जो Teen Murti Chowk है, ये पूरी तरह से बैरिकेड कर दिया गया है। आपको दिखाएं कि यहाँ पे पुलिस की डिप्लॉयमेंट कर दी गई है, हर जगह बैरिकेड लगा दिए गए हैं, और जो गाड़ियाँ हैं, मैं आपको उस तरफ भी तस्वीरें दिखा दूँ, यहाँ पे जो पूरा रूट्स है वो पूरी तरह से डाइवर्ट किया गया है। बैनर पोस्टर ले करके जो जितने भी सपोर्टर्स हैं, बीजेपी के वर्कर्स हैं, वो साफ तौर पर नजर आ सकते हैं। सर, आप लोग आज पहुंचे हैं बैनर पोस्टर हाथ में, मैं आपको दिखा दूं, पाकिस्तान मुर्दाबाद मुर्दाबाद के जो बैनर हैं ये लेकर के यहाँ पे पहुंचे हैं, क्योंकि बेहद आक्रोशित देश की जनता है कि देश के प्रधानमंत्री के खिलाफ इस तरह का जो रिमार्क है वो पाकिस्तान के फॉरेन मिनिस्टर ने दिया है। सर, इस बार भारत जो है इस तरह के स्टेटमेंट बर्दाश्त नहीं करेगा, और यहाँ से किस तरह से आप लोग का धरना प्रोसीड करेगा?
कभी भी नहीं करेगा बर्दाश्त। मोदी जी के रहते हम कभी बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे किसी भी चीज को।
उनके खिलाफ कोई कुछ भी बोले हम कभी बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे।
यहाँ से धरना पाकिस्तान एम्बेसी तक जाके कोई कंप्लेन दी जाएगी या कोई ऐसे चिट्ठी दी जाएगी कि वहाँ के फॉरेन अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर माफी मांगे?
जी ये एक रोष प्रदर्शन है और हमारे नेतागणों के साथ अब हम इस पथ पर आगे चलेंगे, आगे दूतावास तक जाएंगे और जो आगे की कार्रवाई है वहाँ दूतावास में जो शिकायत दर्ज करानी है, पूरा भारतीय जनता पार्टी दिल्ली प्रदेश उस शिकायत को लेकर के भारतीय जनता युवा मोर्चा भारतीय जनता पार्टी उस दूतावास पर जाकर के पाकिस्तानी दूतावास के जो उच्चायुक्त है उनको एक संदेश देना चाहते हैं और पाकिस्तान को एक संदेश देना चाहते हैं कि जिस प्रकार से उनके विदेश मंत्री ने हमारे माननीय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का अपमान किया है, वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी या भारत का कोई भी वासी बर्दाश्त नहीं करेगा।
सर, जब पाकिस्तान से जब सवाल किया जाता है कि आप आतंकवाद को पनाह दे रहे हैं अपने देश पर, तब तक इस तरह की ओछी हरकत पाकिस्तान द्वारा दिखाई देती है।
ये तो इनके कर्म है, इनका हमेशा का यही रुतबा रहा है, यही इसी उस पर पथ पर चलते हैं ये लोग।
So I would like to give you a sense of everything. सर, आज ये जो प्रदर्शन है किस तरह से आगे जाएगा, क्योंकि यूएन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल में बिलावल भुट्टो का जो बयान है उसको लेकर के काफी आक्रोशित है यहाँ की जनता, खासकर बीजेपी का।
देखिए, बिलावल भुट्टो ही नहीं, पाकिस्तान की सोच को दर्शाता है कि इनकी हमेशा से भारत के प्रति नहीं, मोदी जी के प्रति नहीं, देश के देवी देवताओं के प्रति, आस्थाओं के प्रति इनकी गलत निष्ठा और गलत सोच है। इसके जवाब देने के लिए भारत का एक एक कार्यकर्ता हमेशा के लिए तैयार है लड़ने के लिए इनसे।
As we can clearly see, the protesters are increasing continuously here at Teen Murti Chowk. Ramveer Singh Biduri, who is the leader of opposition, and along with him Tejasvi Surya is leading this entire protest at Teen Murti Chowk. A huge barricading has already been done here at Teen Murti Chowk. Teen Murti Chowk पर ये जो heavy barricading है, ये आपको साफ तौर पे नजर आएगी। जो बीजेपी के जितने सीनियर कार्यकर्ता हैं, जितने लीडर्स हैं, वो तमाम लोग यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं। बैरिकेडिंग आप देख सकते हैं, सुरक्षा का जो डिप्लॉयमेंट है वो आप देख सकते हैं। प्रवीण शंकर कपूर भी इस वक्त यहाँ पर है। प्रवीण सर, एक बात आपसे जानना चाहूंगी, इस तरह का रिमार्क जो देश के प्रधानमंत्री को लेकर के दिया गया, इसकी निंदा करना कितना जरूरी भी है, क्योंकि ये लगातार पाकिस्तान की तरफ से इस तरह के हमले और जब से धारा 370 को एब्रोगेट किया गया है तब से कहीं ना कहीं झुंझलाहट, एक बौखलाहट पाकिस्तान के द्वारा देखी जाती है।
देखिए, ये पाकिस्तान की बौखलाहट है। ये बयान आज उस दिन सामने आया है 16 दिसंबर को, जिस दिन 52 साल पहले पाकिस्तान ने भारत के आगे 1971 में घुटने टेके थे। ये बयान उस दिन सामने आया है जिस दिन बिलावल भुट्टो के नाना जुल्फिकार अली भुट्टो ने भारत से माफ़ी मांगी थी। तो आज हमें पाकिस्तान को एक कड़ा संदेश देना है कि भारत की जनता, ये किसी राजनीतिक दल का मुद्दा नहीं है, ये भारत की जनता का मुद्दा है और भारत की जनता अपने प्रधानमंत्री का अपमान नहीं सहेगी।
और सर, ना सहेगी और उसकी साफ तस्वीर भी दिख सकती है, क्योंकि इतने सारे कार्यकर्ता यहाँ पर पहुंचे कि यहाँ से आगे पाकिस्तान एम्बेसी तक जाने दिया जाएगा, कोई वहाँ पे मेमोरेंडम दिया जाएगा, कोई नोटिस वहाँ पे दिया जाएगा।
देखिए, हम अपना पूरा प्रयास करेंगे कि हम दूतावास के पास तक पहुँच पाएँ और हमारा कार्यकर्ता बिल्कुल संघर्ष की मुद्रा में है और हम इस हर बैरिकेड को, पुलिस के लगाए को तोड़ के प्रधानमंत्री जी के अपमान का बदला लेने पाकिस्तान की हाई कमीशन तक जाएंगे।
कंटिन्यूसली टॉकिंग टू दी, तो लगातार हम सपोर्टर्स से लगातार बात कर रहे हैं और भाजपा के जितने कार्यकर्ता हैं वो मैदान में डटे हुए हैं, क्योंकि सबका एक ही कहना है कि देश के प्रधानमंत्री के खिलाफ इस तरह का बयान देश की जनता नहीं सहेगी। ऐसा ही है सर।
पाकिस्तान ने जो ये घिनौनी हरकत करी है, हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री जी को अशब्द कहे, हमारे देश को अशब्द करें, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के एक एक कार्यकर्ता और भारत के नागरिक उसका जवाब देंगे। आज हम पाकिस्तान के एम्बेसी में प्रदर्शन कर रहे हैं, जोरदार प्रदर्शन करेंगे और भुट्टो को जेल भेजो, तब ये प्रदर्शन रुकने वाला है।
और जब से ये भी देखा गया कि जब से धारा 370 हटाई है, जिस तरह से एब्रोगेट किया है, उसके बाद कहीं ना कहीं बौखलाया हुआ पाकिस्तान नजर आता है।
धारा 370 हटने के बाद पाकिस्तान कहीं बौखलाया हुआ है, उसकी जमीन खिसकती नजर आ रही है। जो वो आतंकवादी हमले करता था वो बंद हो गए, इसलिए पाकिस्तान तिलमिलाया हुआ है, इसलिए गलत बयानबाजी दे रहे हैं। उसका जवाब आज हम देने वाले हैं।
बिलावल भुट्टो के बयान से कितनी आक्रोशित है दिल्ली की जनता, कितने आक्रोशित हैं दिल्ली बीजेपी के जो कार्यकर्ता हैं, उनकी तस्वीर लगातार यहाँ पे हम दिखा रहे हैं। प्रदर्शन उग्र हो चुका है, प्रदर्शन लगातार जारी है। जो संख्या है प्रदर्शन में भाजपा के सपोर्टर्स की, भाजपा के कार्यकर्ताओं की, वो लगातार बढ़ती चली जा रही है। हाथ में भगवा झंडा आप देख सकते हैं, बीजेपी का झंडा आप देख सकते हैं, और इतना ही नहीं, जो आपने बैनर पोस्टर है वो भी साफ तौर से नजर आ रहे हैं। सर, यहाँ से धरना आगे जाने की उम्मीद है कि यहाँ से आगे जाने दिया जाएगा पाक एम्बेसी तक?
पूरी कोशिश करेंगे पाकिस्तान एम्बेसी तक हम जाए और अपना विरोध प्रदर्शन वहाँ पे दर्ज करें। बाकी पुलिस फोर्स यहाँ लगी हुई है, उनका भी हम सम्मान करेंगे, बाकी हम पूरी ताकत से आगे तक जाएंगे।
इतना ओछा बयान आया है बिलावल भुट्टो द्वारा, उसको देश की जनता उस पर क्या जवाब देना चाहेगी सीधे पाकिस्तान?
यही जवाब देना चाहेगी कि एक आतंकवाद जो देश है, खुद आतंकवादी देश है वो, और वो ऐसे प्रधानमंत्री के बारे में बोल रहे हैं जिसका पूरी दुनिया में सम्मान है। पूरी दुनिया में उस प्रधानमंत्री का सम्मान है, आज हर जगह सम्मान है। जो भारत का जो सम्मान है वो उसका पाकिस्तान का कभी हो भी नहीं सकता, उसको शर्म आनी चाहिए। और वो कहते हैं चोर की दाढ़ी में तिनका, वो खुद ऐसे बयान दे रहा है, वो खुद आतंकवादी को पालता है, खुद सारे गंदे काम करता है और बोल प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के बारे में। ये उसको सोचना पड़ेगा कि वो ऐसे प्रधानमंत्री मोदी के बारे में गलत हम बयान बिल्कुल बर्दाश्त नहीं करेगा।
हमारे देश की तरफ से बिल्कुल साफ कह दिया गया कि आतंकवाद को देश बर्दाश्त नहीं करेगा, आतंकवाद के खिलाफ डट कर रहेगा। यही बौखलाहट है कि पाकिस्तान के, कि वहाँ के फॉरेन मिनिस्टर इस तरह का बयान।
इन लोगों को मैडम कितना भी समझा लो, ये लोग कभी बाज नहीं आने वाले हैं। इनके खिलाफ हम चाहें कि इस तरीके से कानून बनाया जाए कि ये लोग बोले ही ना कुछ। वर्ल्ड के लीडर के बारे में इस तरीके से उल्टी बातें जो ये बोलते हैं, मतलब इनके जो जिस तरीके के शब्द इस्तेमाल करते हैं बहुत ही शर्मनाक है। इनको इस चीज़ को सोच के चलना चाहिए। हमारे यहाँ से कोई पाकिस्तान के किसी लीडर के बारे में जब अब शब्द इस्तेमाल नहीं करते तो ये लोग हमारे लीडर के बारे में क्यों ऐसा बोलते हैं? मोदी जी आज पूरे देश में अपना नेतृत्व जो लेकर चल रहे हैं लोगों के लिए, ये बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है। इस चीज़ को देखकर नज़रअंदाज किया जा रहा है। और पाकिस्तान को मैं एक चीज़ बताना चाहता हूँ कि तुम शुरू से ही हमेशा आतंकवादियों को पालते रहे हो और आतंकवाद के खिलाफ तुमने आज तक कोई ऐसा एक्शन नहीं लिया और देश को बर्बाद कर रहे हो तुम अपने साथ साथ। और हमारे यहाँ भी आतंकवाद फैला के हमारे यहाँ लोगों को भी बुखलाया जा रहा है। तो
ये बीजेपी के साथ
पाकिस्तान जो आतंकवादी संगठनों को, ISI को पनाह देने का काम करता है, उन्होंने जो मोदी जी के बारे में गलत शब्द बोला है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के बारे में जो बोला है, वो बिल्कुल भी बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जाएगा। और हम पाकिस्तान के दूतावास पे आज बैरिकेड तोड़ के उनको जवाब देने का काम करेंगे कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी का एक एक कार्यकर्ता कोई भी रुकने वाला नहीं है। आज ईंट का जवाब पत्थर से देने के लिए तैयार है। आज ये भारत मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में है, ये पुराना भारत नहीं है, नया भारत है।
जैसे कि यहाँ पे कार्यकर्ताओं ने साफ कर दिया है कि ये पुराना भारत नहीं है, ये नया भारत है। और नए भारत के जो निवासी हैं वो अपने प्रधानमंत्री के खिलाफ कुछ भी अपशब्द, कोई भी अपशब्द, कोई भी ऊंची भाषा बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे। और इसी को लेकर के जो प्रदर्शन है उसकी तस्वीरें आपको लगातार दिखा रहे हैं कि संख्या किस तरह से लगातार बढ़ रही है। जो बीजेपी कार्यकर्ता हैं बड़ी हुई संख्या में लगातार यहाँ पर पहुंच रहे हैं। अगर यहाँ से आपको तस्वीर दिखाऊं, ये 3 मूर्ति हाइफा चौक है जो रास्ता सीधे यहाँ से पाकिस्तान एम्बेसी की तरफ जाता है, जो कि शांति पथ पर है। लेकिन यहाँ पे इस वक्त जो धरना है उसको रोका गया है, जो पुलिस द्वारा बैरिकेडिंग की गई है। धारा 144 इस पूरे इलाके में लागू कर दिया गया है। अमूमन एम्बेसी के इलाकों में धारा 144 अधिकतर लागू रहती है और यहाँ से यहीं पे रोका गया है। यहाँ से ये जो प्रदर्शन है इसे आगे जाने की अनुमति नहीं है, जैसा कि हम पुलिस की माने तो। लेकिन ये तस्वीरें आपको दिखाना चाह रही हूँ क्योंकि जिस तरह से UN सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल में पाकिस्तान के जो विदेश मंत्री हैं बिलावल भुट्टो, उनके द्वारा जिस तरह से अभद्र भाषा का इस्तेमाल किया गया प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी पर, जो पर्सनल अटैक किया गया, उसके बाद यहाँ पे आक्रोशित बीजेपी कार्यकर्ता नजर आ रहे हैं और साफ तौर पे कह दिया है कि यहाँ पर ये प्रदर्शन रुकने वाला नहीं है, क्योंकि ये प्रदर्शन साफ तौर पे संदेश है पाकिस्तान को कि अब ये नया भारत है, ये भारत बर्दाश्त नहीं करेगा। सर, ये बात कही जा रही है कि नया भारत है और ये नए भारत के निवासी कुछ भी ओछी बात अपने प्रधानमंत्री को लेकर बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे।
देखिए, सबसे पहले तो उस बिलावल भुट्टो को ये सोचना चाहिए कि जिसके नाना ने घुटने टेक के माफी मांगे थे भारत से, वो आज अपशब्द बोल रहा है। यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री, ये भीड़ देख रही है ना, ये भीड़ का रोष पाकिस्तान एम्बेसी में जाके इजहार करने जा रहा है अपना गुस्सा, और पूरे दुनिया में थू-थू हो रही है बिलावल भुट्टो की। वो विदेश मंत्री भी है पाकिस्तान का, उसको समझना चाहिए था कि वो किस देश के प्रधानमंत्री के लिए बोले। एक ऐसे देश के प्रधानमंत्री जो दुनिया में इस वक्त बड़े बड़े मुल्क उनके सामने झुकते हुए दिखाई दे रहे हैं। बिलावल भुट्टो को ये समझना चाहिए कि उनका मुल्क जो कटोरा लेके पूरे दुनिया के सामने घूम रहा है, वो एक कटोरे में सिमट के रह जाएगा अगर ये हरकत और इन्होंने माफी नहीं मांगी तो। जब तक माफी नहीं मांगेंगे तब तक ये गुस्सा, ये कड़ी निंदा और इसका इजहार होता रहेगा पाकिस्तान।
ये निंदा का इजहार होता रहेगा और इसी तरह से निंदा का इजहार किया भी जा सकता है। आप यहाँ पे बैनर पोस्टर साफ तौर पे देख सकते हैं। पाकिस्तान मुर्दाबाद के जो नारे हैं ये पूरे 3 मूर्ति चौक पर लग रहे हैं। या आक्रोशित जो भाजपा कार्यकर्ता हैं उन्होंने साफ कर दिया है कि अब यहाँ पे कुछ बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जाएगा और सीधे ये संदेश है पाक दूतावास दूतावास को यहाँ से पाक दूतावास तक जाने की जो कोशिश है वो ये कार्यकर्ता कर रहे हैं। थोड़ा उस तरफ भी चल के आपको दिखा देती हूँ, क्योंकि वहाँ से लेकर के तीन मूर्ति हाइफा चौक जहाँ से शुरू होता है वहाँ से लेकर के अगर आप आगे तक आएंगे और यहाँ पे देखिए बिलावल भुट्टो का जो पूरा पुतला है वो यहाँ पे लाया गया है। तो सर क्या ये पुतले को दहन किया जाएगा, कुछ ऐसा कार्यक्रम है
यहाँ पे? पहले पुतले को जूतों से मारा जाएगा, फिर दहन किया जाएगा।
रैपटे चलेंगे। सुन ले बेटा पाकिस्तान, बाप है तेरा हिंदुस्तान।
बिलावल भुट्टो का पुतला यहाँ पे लाया गया है और कह दिया गया है कि इसको पहले जूते चलाए जाएंगे, उसके बाद यहाँ पे इस पुतले का दहन किया जाएगा। ये कह सकते हैं कि नाराजगी जो साफ तौर पे अब इस पुतले पे दिखने वाली है।
बिल्कुल पुतले पे नहीं, अगर वो सामने भी होते तो हम सामने भी नाराजगी अपनी जाहिर कर दे। बिलावल भुट्टो को होश में आना चाहिए। वो भारत के प्रधानमंत्री के बारे में आप शब्द बोल रहे हैं, जो विश्व के सबसे बड़े नेता बन चुके हैं आज के टाइम में। वो पाकिस्तान जिन्हें खाने के भी लाले पड़े हुए हैं, आज उनको शब्दों की भी मर्यादा के बारे में नहीं पता है। बिलावल भुट्टो को होश में आना चाहिए, नहीं तो हाल हम उनका जो कुछ दिन पहले हमने चीनी सैनिकों का करा था उसी प्रकार बिलावल भुट्टो का भी करेंगे।
These are BJP supporters are clearly stating that today we are going to light this Bilawal Bhutto's caricature which has been put here, and the very angry BJP supporters can clearly be seen here. And right now we are showing you the visuals here. As my camera person Surinder to please show that what exactly is happening here, because as you can see the angry BJP protesters can be seen, shoes in their hand, and the caricature of Bilawal Bhutto could be seen, because with the statement of Pakistan Foreign Minister, the controversial remark, the personal attack which was done on our Prime Minister by Bilawal Bhutto, the angry BJP supporters, karyakartas could be seen here, and these are the visuals here from Teen Murti Haifa Chowk. Tejasvi Surya, Rami Singh Budhuri, all are leading this protest. As you can clearly see, the banner, posters, everything here. It depicts clearly that the protesters, the BJP karyakartas, the BJP workers are very angry with the remarks which have been made against the Prime Minister by Bilawal Bhutto. And now the supporters and now the karyakartas proceeding ahead towards the barricade. Will go there where exactly the barricade is there, because the entire karyakartas are now trying to go towards Pakistan Embassy, as this road goes towards Pakistan Embassy, and they are trying to go towards Pakistan Embassy, though they are not allowed at 144 as 144 is being done here. The CRPC 144 is here, so no one is allowed to go beyond this point exactly where the barricades are there. The CRPC of 144 is imposed in this entire area, but still these are the BJP karyakartas who are trying to cross this barricade. Visuals from Teen Murti Haifa Chowk, heavy security deployment has been done here, and these karyakartas and BJP workers are again and again stating that they will try to cross this barricade and go straight to the Pak Embassy, and the tussle could clearly be seen. They are trying to break the barricades and cross the barricades. These are the visuals from Teen Murti Haifa Chowk. Security deployment, security forces is stopping them from crossing the barricades, but they are trying hard to go on that side of the barricade, because that is the road which straight goes towards Pakistan Embassy. These are the visuals. They are trying hard. They are trying to cross the barricades. They are jumping on that side of the barricades. These are visuals from Teen Murti as they are protesting against Pakistan Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto. Banner posters on their hands everywhere. The huge crowd of BJP supporters and karyakartas could clearly be seen. Security forces stopping them to go further, because 144 of CRPC is imposed in this entire area, a very sensitive area where all the embassy is here. So this Teen Murti Chowk, and the visuals, they are continuously standing on the barricades. As you see, they are jumping on the other side of the barricade. They are now standing on the barricade, protesting, smoke clearing against Pakistan is happening. Sir, barricade पार करके जाना allowed नहीं है.
क्या चीज?
सर बैरिकेड पार करके जाना अलाउड नहीं है, आपको लगता है
अलाउड नहीं है, ये लोग जाने नहीं दे रहे उधर।
तो आपको लगता है पाक दूतावास तक आप जा पाएंगे?
ये लोग बातों को दबा रहे हैं हमारी।
तो आप बात कैसे पहुंचाना चाहते हैं आगे?
हम मोदी जी तक बात पहुंचाना चाहते हैं अपने।
मोदी जी के खिलाफ जो बिलावल भुट्टो ने कहा है उसको लेके कितना आक्रोशित है?
पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ हम लोग जहाँ जाना वहाँ जाएंगे।
So these are the angry BJP karyakartas. As you see the visuals, now they're standing on the other side of the road. The divider, the heightened divider which is made. They're standing on that side with flags on their hand. And security forces trying, they should not cross this entire area. So this is exactly the visuals of the protest by BJP karyakartas, by Delhi BJP workers. They're very angry with the remarks which has been made against Pak Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto, the controversial remark and the personal attack on the Prime Minister. And BJP karyakartas were seen here stating that this is the new India, this is not the old India, this is the new India, and the new India is not going to tolerate any statement on our प्राइम मिनिस्टर। सर ये लगातार कहा जा रहा है ये नया भारत है, नया भारत प्रधानमंत्री के खिलाफ कोई अपशब्द बर्दाश्त नहीं करेगा।
एक्चुअली हमारे नरेंद्र विश्व प्रसिद्ध नेता हैं, अपशब्द एक छोटा सा बच्चा भी बर्दाश्त नहीं करता, इतनी लोकप्रियता है। बरगलाए हुए लोग जो मर्जी बोल देते हैं, उन्हें माफी मांगनी चाहिए इस बात के लिए।
आपको लगता है सर ये पाकिस्तान की बौखलाहट है? आपको लगता है पाकिस्तान की बौखलाहट है जो बाहर आ रही है?
पाकिस्तान में बौखलाहट है इस बात की कि हिंदुस्तान हमारा उसे कहते हैं सब जगह बढ़ता जा रहा है। हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी जो हैं विश्व के नेता बनते जा रहे हैं। पाकिस्तान में बौखलाहट है, वो बिल्कुल कंगाल हो चुका है।
अब पहले वाला बात तो नहीं है, अब भारत है। अब एक बात भी बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे, उसका मुंह तोड़ जवाब देंगे। हम लोग इसीलिए आए हैं, भारतीय हैं। पाकिस्तान अब जो भी बोलेगा सोच के बोले, ये भारत है। वो पहले वाला नहीं है कि कुछ बोल दिया कुछ नहीं हुआ। अब छोड़ेंगे नहीं, अब उसको पता चल जाएगा कि भारतीय सब जाग गया है।
बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जाएगा। अब भारतीय बर्दाश्त नहीं
करेगा। अब काहे को बर्दाश्त? अब हमारा जो हमारा भारत का प्रधानमंत्री होना चाहिए वो भी है, वो ईमानदार है, सब कुछ है, विश्व में उसका ताकत मानता है। ये उसको गाली दिया रहा है, उसको छोड़ेंगे? हम लोग पूरी ताकत से है, उसके जवाब दिया जाएगा।
70 साल के बाद हमें ऐसा प्रधानमंत्री मिला है
towards the embassy. Camera person Surinder Shah showing you the visuals. The barricade has broken and barricade has been opened. The police forces walking ahead of these protesters and the slow clearing here at Teen Murti Chowk. Haifa Chowk continues. That this is the entire Teen Murti Road which goes towards Pakistan embassy. We are showing you exclusive visuals on Republic. The angry BJP karyakartas clearly stating that this is our Prime Minister and we are not going to tolerate anything against our Prime Minister because our Prime Minister knows how to tackle the terrorism which Pakistan has always been spreading. Sir, Pakistan आतंकवाद फैलाता रहा है और यहाँ जो संदेश है वो साफ है।
आतंकवाद है तो खाली पाकिस्तान उसकी जननी है। हमेशा जब भी देखा गया किसी भी आतंकवादी हमले के बाद में हमेशा पाकिस्तान कहीं ना कहीं से जुड़ा हुआ पाया जाता है और हम अपने मोदी जी का अपमान बिल्कुल नहीं सहेंगे। हम दूतावास को एक जड़ से ईंट बजा देंगे।
सर आपको लगता है कि ये बौखलाहट है पाकिस्तान की, कुछ नहीं मिला तो प्रधानमंत्री पर अटैक?
बिल्कुल वही खिस्सानी बिल्ली खमो नाचो।
So these are the karyakartas and supporters who are clearly stating that this is the frustrating Pakistan's remark on Prime Minister. They are frustrated, they are irritated because yes, they know that how India is developing, how India is now powerful and it is not tolerating terrorism at all. And the befitting reply to Pakistan terrorism is continuously being given by India and therefore such remarks is being made by Pakistan Foreign Minister. We are showing you the visuals. मैम लगता है आज पाक दूतावास तक पहुंच करके जो सही संदेश है वो आप लोग देंगे?
देश के प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के लिए जो अपशब्द कहे वो उनको नहीं बोलने चाहिए थे। पाकिस्तान को इसके लिए हिंदुस्तान से माफ़ी मांगनी पड़ेगी, हमारे प्रधानमंत्री से माफ़ी मांगनी पड़ेगी और देश का हर नागरिक बाहर उतरेगा और बाहर निकलेगा।
So these are the Karyakartas who are stating that all Karyakartas are now on road and now Pakistan will have to say sorry. Sir, बिलावल भुट्टो को माफी मांगनी चाहिए अपने इतने खराब बयान के लिए, इतने ओछे बयान के लिए।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल मांगनी चाहिए, माफी मांगनी चाहिए। हमारे यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के लिए उन्होंने जब बोला है, जो आमंत्रित तपड़ी दी है, उन्होंने कहा है उसके लिए माफी मांगनी चाहिए। अगर वो माफी नहीं मांगते हैं तो हम यहाँ ही नहीं, हम बॉर्डर पे भी उनको जवाब देंगे, हम सब जगह जवाब देने के लिए।
So now India is the new India and the befitting reply to Pakistan is continuously being given at borders and now here on the roads of national capital. We are showing you visuals. Now we have reached Tanakipuri police station and all the Karyakartas have gathered here because this is another level of barricading which has been imposed here. As you can see, one more barricading has been imposed in this area as all Karyakartas have come here. And now Karyakartas have clearly been stating that they will go to Pakistan embassy. They will give the message to Pak embassy that बिलावल भुट्टो has to say sorry. सर माफी मांगना चाहिए बिलावल भुट्टो को इस तरह के बयान के लिए।
उसे फांसी लगाना चाहिए पाकिस्तान के भुट्टो को ये गलत बयान पर। पाकिस्तान तो हमारे लिए हमेशा नासूर ही रहेगा, ये हमारी मांग।
A huge security deployment can also be seen here outside the Chanakipuri police station so that this level of barricading shouldn't be crossed. The slow ignoring here at Teen Murti at the barricade could be seen by the Karyakartas, by the BJP supporters. Now they're again trying to cross this barricade, but there's a second level of barricade and the rope has also been put by police officials as they're continuously stating that CRPC 144 has been imposed and you're not allowed to cross this level of barricading. We are showing you visuals everywhere. Huge crowd of supporters, angry Karyakartas. Angry Karyakartas could be seen and the scuffle between police and the Karyakartas can also be seen as Karyakartas are continuously trying to cross the barricade, but police is resisting. They are not allowing them to cross this barricade. So these are the visuals on the screen of Republic, the scuffle and how the police forces are pushing them back. They're pushing the Karyakartas and supporters back and asking them not to cross this level of barricading could be seen. And they're trying hard to cross this barricade because once they cross this barricade, the road directly leads towards Pakistan embassy. As you can see, the tear gas and water cannon van have already been put in place outside Chanakipuri police station and sloganeering against Pakistan and continuously Pakistan Murdabad sloganeering is being done here outside this Chanakipuri police station. This is the Teen Murti road here and these are the visuals. Police officials is stopping and pushing back the supporters and Karyakartas and asking them not to cross this road and because the Karyakartas are very much angry against the statement of बिलावल भुट्टो and they're continuously saying that this won't be tolerated. सर ये इतनी नाराजगी, ये देश की जनता की नाराजगी साफ दर्शा रहा है कि अब बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जा।
बिल्कुल बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जा सकता। भारतवर्ष के अंदर जिस तरीके से पाकिस्तान अपनी ओछी हरकतों से बाज नहीं आता, आज समस्त भारतीय जनता पार्टी दिल्ली का पाकिस्तान के एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन जो उच्चायोग है यहाँ पर प्रदर्शन करने के लिए आया है। पाकिस्तान को माफ़ी मांगनी चाहिए, जो इनके मंत्री ने अभद्र व्यवस्थाएं हमारे आदरणीय मंत्री जी रखी है, मोदी जी को कही है, उसके लिए इनको माफ़ी मांगनी चाहिए।
Asking that Pakistan, it's a time that Pakistan should say sorry for the personal attack they have made on the Prime Minister of the country, and this Prime Minister is the Prime Minister who has clearly stated that he will not tolerate the terrorism in the country, and the befitting reply to Pakistan will continuously be given. And the UN Security Council, the remark which has been made by बिलावल भुट्टो is not taken very nicely, and right now the protest on the roads is the example of that statement which was made by बिलावल Bhutto, as the angry supporters and karyakartas are here, and they're clearly stating that we are not going to take this. And continuously we are seeing that continuously the huge crowd of BJP workers and the supporters from all parts. सर लगातार इतनी नाराजगी और पाकिस्तान जैसे देश से जो आतंकवाद का पनाहगाह रहा है, आपको लगता है कि ये समय है भारत बता दे कि ये नया भारत है, बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जाए?
बिल्कुल, ये नया भारत है, ये नरेंद्र मोदी जी का भारत है। नरेंद्र मोदी जी की फौज सीमा पर तैयार रहती है हर वक्त गोली लेकर। अगर बिलावल भुट्टो गोली खाने के लिए तैयार हो जाए या फिर माफी मांग ले, अगर माफी नहीं मांगता है तो घर में घुसकर एक हिंदुस्तानी तैयार है पाकिस्तान का नाम और निशान मिटाने के लिए।
मैम, आप लोग क्या कहेंगे? पाकिस्तान एक तरह से पाकिस्तान की छवि अब ऐसी हो गई है कि आतंकवाद के पनाहगार ही हैं और अब बर्दाश्त भी नहीं कर पा रहे हैं। जिस तरह से लगातार भारत उनको लगातार हम जवाब दे रहा है, जवाबी कार्रवाई हो रही है बॉर्डर पर भी और देश में।
देखिए, वो अब घबरा रहे हैं और ये उनकी घबराहट ही है जो उन्होंने हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी के लिए अपशब्द बोले हैं। तो इसीलिए हम सब यहाँ इकट्ठे हुए हैं आज कि हम उनको दिखा देंगे कि उन्होंने जो किया है वो बहुत गलत है।
और सर, देश का हिंदू हो या मुसलमान, वो सब प्रधानमंत्री के साथ है, ये मैसेज देने की कोशिश की जा रही है।
देखिए, प्रधानमंत्री ने सबके विकास की बात कही है, सबके विश्वास की बात कही है, सबका प्रयास लिया है। ये प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी एक ऐसे प्रधानमंत्री हैं जो मुसलमानों के भी नेता हैं, सरदारों के भी नेता हैं, ईसाइयों के भी नेता हैं और हिंदुओं के तो है ही हैं। हिंदू मुस्लिम सिख ईसाई हिंदुस्तान में सब हैं भाई भाई, इसलिए
across to breaking news coming in. Russian President Vladimir Putin held a telephonic conversation with Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. This is what is coming in from the Russian side. Kremlin putting out details of how Russian President Vladimir Putin held a telephonic conversation with Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. This is the latest that is being reported on ANI and Reuters. We know that Prime Minister Modi spoke with his Russian counterpart, and the conversation that was initiated from the side of Russian President Vladimir Putin, we are yet to get details of what exactly was discussed between the two leaders. But a telephonic conversation, I beg your pardon, that happened between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin, and the conversation that was initiated from the Russian President Vladimir Putin. The two leaders spoke on the telephone. We are yet to get details of what exactly was spoken between the two leaders and the various points that were discussed. But these are the initial details that are just coming in. Prime Minister Modi spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Abhishek Kapoor, Senior Executive Editor, with us on the phone line. Abhishek, what more do we know about what was discussed between the two leaders?
Readout from both the sides is still awaited, Suesha, both from the Indian side and the Russian side. But remember, there was an annual summit that had to happen, and it was to happen in Moscow this time, but could not. So I believe this is a communication and a follow-up to the two sides deciding to not have the annual summit this time, obviously because the Russian side is too preoccupied with the Ukraine war, and this is the second time in the last 2 months that the two leaders have spoken. The first one was just ahead of the G20 Bali summit. Remember, President Putin had absented himself from the Bali summit as well of G20, but now, of course, India is the president, and next year there is going to be a summit, and likely that President Putin is going to be invited. But among other things, conversation on the Ukraine war, on energy security, on food and fertilizer situation, and in all these three crises, the food situation, the fertilizer supply situation, and of course the energy situation, Russia has an important role to play. India has upped its purchase of Russian oil, and it stands as of now almost like the biggest supplier of fuel to India. Also, the issue of fertilizers, and a lot of material comes from there, and that's the reason why the conversation became important. We are awaiting a readout, a comprehensive release from both the sides, Suesha. The moment we get it, we'll be back with that for the viewers.
All right, Abhishek, thank you for getting us those details. And of course, we'll come back to you as we get more on this. For the moment, we also shift our focus back to what is happening outside the Pakistan High Commission in the national capital, where protests are underway by the BJP over the comment that was made by
for a foreign minister, especially from a soil which is known for promotion of terrorism, who has been a den for the terrorists and who have been behind all the attacks in India and for the promotion of terrorism in India. I think they are trying to take away the attention on a day. If you remember 1971, it was the Indian army who defeated the Pakistan army on the same day. And I think he must remember that who was crying, who was weeping, who was, requesting to the release of 93,000 soldiers. It was the 93,000 Pakistan soldiers who surrendered in front of Indian army. Do you think it's... And second is, despite that, over the last 50 years, we have seen Pakistan has become a hub for the promotion of terrorism. It has become a home for the terrorism. And this kind of statement is not only a statement which is very shameful, but also to distract everyone's mind away from the 1971 war and also from the issue of terrorism.
All right, cutting back to live pictures coming in from outside the Pakistan High Commission in New Delhi, where you see these very chaotic protests that are underway by BJP workers. Anger is mounting over the statement that was made by Bilawal Bhutto against Prime Minister Modi. And Meenakshi Lekhi has also responded to this statement by Bilawal Bhutto. Let's listen into what she's saying.
It holds Mr. Bhutto in a good stead that he should start recounting the acts of terrorism in his own country, where the agencies and his own ancestry has created terrorism and the networks of terrorists across the country, and is responsible for the terrorism which they are facing. Whether it's Tehreek or others, they are constantly at war with each other. We know that the kind of work which is going on in the country of Pakistan, as well as the kind of representation which Pakistan has made. It is not just the desperate act of a desperate nation or a foreign minister who is likely to be representing a failed state in a very short time. I think one must understand that this is the desperation of Mr. Bhutto which is making him speak the language he's speaking. भुट्टो जी जो कि विदेश मंत्री हैं पाकिस्तान के, उन्होंने जिस तरीके का बेबुनियाद बयान दिया है वो सिर्फ
All right, so you just heard from Union Minister Meenakshi Lekhi as you see these massive protests that are underway outside the Pakistan High Commission in the national capital. BJP angered over the very comment that was made by Bilawal Bhutto, where he has targeted Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and BJP demanding that there must be an apology. Most importantly, the fact as to how this statement was.
बिलावल भुट्टो और उनके अत्यंत चीप पॉलिटिक्स के खिलाफ प्रदर्शन करने के लिए सब लोग यहाँ उपस्थित हैं। आप सब लोग जानते ही हैं कि आज पाकिस्तान एक विफल स्टेट है, एक फेल्ड स्टेट है, और ऐसे फेल्ड स्टेट के एक फ्रस्ट्रेटेड एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर आज उनके राजनीतिक रेलेवेंस के लिए प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के खिलाफ बयान देने का काम किया है। आज पाकिस्तान पूरे विश्व में एक दो नॉर्थ कोरिया जैसे देश छोड़ के किसी देश पाकिस्तान के साथ डिप्लोमेटिक संबंध या व्यावहारिक संबंध कोई देश आज नहीं कर रहा है। ऐसे वैश्विक स्थिति में पाकिस्तान के एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर खाली बैठे रहते हैं। एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर का काम क्या होता है? अलग अलग देशों के साथ संबंध रचन करना, अलग अलग देशों के साथ कूटनीति, डिप्लोमेटिक रिलेशंस बढ़ाना, ये एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर का काम होता है। जिस देश के साथ एक देश भी रिलेशनशिप नहीं करना चाहते हैं, व्यवहार नहीं करना चाहते हैं, वैश्विक स्तर में जिस राष्ट्र को वैश्विक कमिटी ऑफ नेशंस अछूत
Amity faculty have filed over 1,700 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
बॉल
खट्टे मीठे घूंट कटक के ले तू दिल को ठूस Just let loose Limonata Just let loose
Your favorite service provider, Den, which gets you the best of entertainment, is back with something very special.
अभी मजा आएगा ना भिड़ो
Your 3 favorite movie channels are bringing in super blockbuster films with features like wider picture and crystal clear sound straight to your home.
Wow. Oh, I love that expression.
To subscribe to your favorite channels, contact your local cable TV operator today or call Den toll-free number 1-800-419-2020 now.
Wonderful day, I feel so fine. Nothing's gonna stop me. I'm popping. Whatever comes my way, I'm living this wonderful day.
Come what may, with Apollo Tires, have a wonderful day.
यूपी ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टर समिट 2023 के जरिए उत्तर प्रदेश वैश्विक निवेश के एक बड़े केंद्र के रूप में उभर रहा है। आर्थिक विकास एवं समृद्धि की नई ऊंचाइयां प्राप्त कर रहा उत्तर प्रदेश इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, आईटी, रक्षा सहित अन्य क्षेत्रों के लिए निवेश का उत्कृष्ट गंतव्य स्थान बनकर उभर रहा है।
भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था को $5 ट्रिलियन की अर्थव्यवस्था बनाने के लिए उत्तर प्रदेश जैसे राज्य को ग्रोथ इंजन के रूप में अपनी भूमिका का निर्वहन करना है।
Tonight, a murder will be committed. If anyone can name the killer, that person wins our game.
This is truly delightful.
Holy
There has been a murder. For one person, this is not a game. A killer wouldn't hesitate to kill again.
You must be really great at clues.
I'm very bad at dumb things.
Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery.
क्या हुआ रोहन, क्या सोच रहा है?
रिया, पहली सैलरी मिली है, तुम भी कुछ आइडिया दो। एक्सपेंसेस को कैसे प्लान किया जाए?
रोहन, एक्सपेंसेस के साथ साथ इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान करना भी जरूरी है।
देखो, सैलरी का कुछ हिस्सा घर के रेगुलर खर्चे के लिए और कुछ मैं अपने लिए भी तो सोच सकता हूँ ना, लेकिन इन्वेस्ट कहाँ करूँ?
सिंपल है, एनपीएस में।
एनपीएस में? रिया, अभी तो मैंने कमाना शुरू किया है, इतना आगे के लिए अभी से क्यों पैसे जोड़ूं?
वो देखो, एक एक करके ईंट जोड़ी जाती है, तब जाके एक घर तैयार होता है। वैसे ही अभी से पैसे जोड़कर हम भी अपना रिटायरमेंट सुखी बना सकते हैं।
बात में तो दम है।
एनपीएस कम लागत वाली फ्लेक्सिबल लॉन्ग टर्म योजना है, जिससे आपकी बचत ग्रो होकर पेंशन का लाभ देती है।
अच्छा, फिर तो मैं अभी अपना एनपीएस अकाउंट ओपन करता हूँ।
जो कल की सोचते हैं वो आज से ही थोड़ा थोड़ा जोड़ते हैं।
पेंशन है तो टेंशन नहीं। एनपीएस में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है।
India's biggest fashion sale is back. Biggest deals on sneakers, yes. Should have splurged a little less. EORS.
Fashion's biggest deals, yes.
Fashion's biggest sale is now live.
इससे बड़ा सेल नहीं मिलेगा।
Myntra end of reason sale. Shop now.
जाग उठा एक राष्ट्र करने हर चुनौती का सामना। मातृभूमि विनाश के कगार पर खड़ी है। ये घड़ी है करो या मरो की। एक अध्याय, एक संग्राम और उसके नायक ब्रह्मपुत्र के शूरवीर लासित बोरफुकन।
Morcha and the Bharatiya Janata Party condemns such irresponsible statements. Bilawal Bhutto must remember that his mother unfortunately was a victim of terrorism. And he must join hands with the world to fight against terrorism and not stand in support of terrorism. Bilawal Bhutto पाकिस्तान जैसे एक फेल्ड स्टेट के एक फ्रस्ट्रेटेड नेता है और उनके पॉलिटिक्स को जीवित रखने के लिए प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के खिलाफ ऐसे इर्रेस्पॉन्सिबल टिप्पणी करने का काम उन्होंने किया है। आज पूरे विश्व के स्तर पर पाकिस्तान एक डिप्लोमैटिक अनटचेबल स्टेट हो चुका है। पाकिस्तान के साथ किसी राष्ट्र किसी प्रकार के डिप्लोमैटिक रिलेशन या व्यावहारिक रिलेशन नहीं करना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि आज पाकिस्तान को पूरे विश्व एक टेरर स्टेट माना जाता है।
कुछ पैसे बोरो करने थे।
लोन चाहिए तो पैसाबाजार.com पर जाइए। पैसाबाजार.com, लोन सही मिलेगा यहीं।
Hey Rahul, what's up?
Hey, kicked about our first date?
Of course.
Benefits up to rupees 30,000 only at the Citroën C3 Carnival. Book today.
क्या हुआ?
पेंशन है तो टेंशन नहीं। एनपीएस में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है।
India welcomes those who further India's pride across the globe. Indian diaspora, partners of New India's growth journey in Amrit Kaal. Come and be a part of the 17th Pravasi Bharati Divas from 8th to 10th January 2023 at Indore, Madhya Pradesh, India. For registration, log on to pbdindia.gov.in.
Advancing data center performance and energy efficiency to solve your most important business challenges. AMD. Together, we advance. India's biggest fashion sale is back. Rock that print, pinch that dress, show you my fashion flex. EORS.
Fashion's biggest sale. Yeah.
Fashion's biggest sale is now live.
इससे बड़ा सेल नहीं मिलेगा।
Myntra end of reason sale. Shop now.
भैया जी हमला। भैया जी 10 गोलियां ले ले।
गोलियां नहीं रज्जा, गोली।
पर बाहर तो 10 लोग हैं।
10 हो या पूरी बस, अब तो बस 1 है तो डन है। इसको कोई वॉच कराओ। जब वॉचो मिले ढेर सारे ओटीटी ऐप्स एक ही प्लान में, तो हर कोई बोलेगा वॉचो 1 है तो डन है।
वॉचो प्लान स्टार्टिंग एट जस्ट 42 rupees per month. आज ही सब्सक्राइब करें और पाएं सिलेक्ट प्लान्स पर 1 महीना कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री.
Whenever I had ice cream or cold water, I would experience a sharp shooting sensation. So I just kept ignoring it. Even my hot chai was giving me the same amount of discomfort. My dentist recommended Sensodyne. So now I can be completely carefree and sip my hot cup of tea. It really works.
So we are showing you the visuals from the protest area at the Teen Murti Chowk here outside Pakistan Embassy. As we see the anger amongst the BJP supporters and Karyakarta, the visuals could clearly be seen the protest outside the Pak Embassy. This is the Teen Murti Chowk and the protesters can be seen standing on the barricade. These are the visuals we are showing you because the angry supporters could clearly, the angry protesters could clearly be seen. We are joined by Tejasvi Surya. We are joined by Tejasvi Surya right now because he has come here. Tejasvi sir, a very straight reply. What's the response to Bilawal Bhutto the Indians want to give? Because terrorism is something India is working against and India has always given a befitting reply.
Bilawal Bhutto is a politically insignificant external affairs minister of a failed state called Pakistan, which is the net exporter of terrorism to the world. To stay relevant in his domestic politics and to capture some headlines at the international level, this insignificant political dynasty has resorted to such cheap and distasteful remarks against the Indian Prime Minister, who has launched a fight against terror at the global level. Naturally, India's fight against terror at the global level hurts Pakistan, which is the largest exporter of terror in the world.
But one more thing, Tejasvi, but now when the countries have been talking how to work against terrorism, Bilawal Bhutto's this remark, is he frustrated? Is Pakistan is irritated because of the befitting reply we are giving at border and here inside our country as well?
Naturally, this is, like I said, a frustrated outburst of an insignificant political leader in Pakistan, which is a failed state. It is unfortunate that Bilawal Bhutto, who lost his mother to a terrorist attack, unfortunately, is not recognizing the threat of terrorism to the world and Pakistan.
Also the message that it is
not joining hands with India and such other leaders of the world which is trying to curb terrorism.
असली विलन तो तू है अपनी फैमिली का हीरो बनो यार। 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 390 रुपए महीने से शुरू फ्रॉम पॉलिसी बाजार।
Your favorite service provider, 10, which gets you the best of entertainment, is back with something very special.
अभी मजा आएगा ना भिड़ो।
Your 3 favorite movie channels are bringing in super blockbuster films with features like wider picture and crystal clear sound straight to your home.
Wow. Oh, I love that expression.
To subscribe to your favorite channels, contact your local cable TV operator today or call 10 toll-free number 1-800-419-2020 now.
India's biggest fashion sale is back. Rock that print, pinch that dress, show you my fashion flex. EORS.
Fashion's biggest sale. Yes.
Fashion's biggest sale is now live.
इससे बड़ा सेल नहीं मिलेगा.
Myntra end of reason sale. Shop now.
क्या हुआ रोहन? क्या सोच रहा है?
रिया पहली सैलरी मिली है, तुम भी कुछ आइडिया दो, एक्सपेंसेस को कैसे प्लान किया जाए।
रोहन, एक्सपेंसेस के साथ साथ इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान करना भी जरूरी है।
देखो, सैलरी का कुछ हिस्सा घर के रेगुलर खर्चे के लिए और कुछ मैं अपने लिए भी तो सोच सकता हूँ ना, लेकिन इन्वेस्ट कहाँ करूँ?
सिंपल है, एनपीएस में।
एनपीएस में? भैया अभी तो मैंने कमाना शुरू किया है, इतना आगे के लिए अभी से क्यों पैसे जोड़ूं?
वो देखो, एक एक करके ईंट जोड़ी जाती है, तब जाके एक घर तैयार होता है। वैसे ही अभी से पैसे जोड़कर हम भी अपना रिटायरमेंट सुखी बना सकते हैं।
बात में तो दम है।
एनपीएस कम लागत वाली फ्लेक्सिबल लॉन्ग टर्म योजना है, जिससे आपकी बचत ग्रो होकर पेंशन का लाभ देती है।
अच्छा, फिर तो मैं अभी अपना एनपीएस अकाउंट ओपन करता हूँ।
जो कल की सोचते हैं वो आज से ही थोड़ा थोड़ा जोड़ते हैं।
पेंशन है तो टेंशन नहीं। एनपीएस में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है।
It's party time with the RGO Big Bowl sale. 50 to 90% off on the world's biggest fashion brands. Download the app and shop now.
Hey Rahul, what's up?
Hey, kicked about our first date?
Of course.
Benefits up to rupees 30,000 only at the Citroën C3 Carnival. Book today.
अगर मिठाई जंक फूड से है यारी, तो डायबिटीज की कर लो तैयारी।
Get Beto's Diabetes Care Program with a free glucometer and expert advice. Give a missed call on 740 1100.
भाई सोच रहा हूँ कमेंट्री ट्राई करूँ। सुनोगे? मैच का आखिरी बॉल, कैप्टन ने टाइट फील्ड सेटिंग करी है, बॉलर का रन अप, तेज तूफानी डिलीवरी, बराबर साइड की ओर, एक धमाकेदार शॉट और ये गया छक्का।
छक्का नहीं, टूटा। आपके टाइल्स को चाहिए MY के लेटिक्री टाइल एडेसिव। फॉर्मूला ऐसा कि अब टाइल न टूटेगा न छूटेगा।
You're watching Republic TV and we are live and breaking from National Capital where the protest against the Pak Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto is going on. The visuals are all on your screen where the BJP supporters and workers are protesting against Bilawal Bhutto. The angry protesters are clearly stating that this is a new India and it will give befitting reply if anyone points a finger against our Prime Minister. Huge crowd of protesters and supporters of BJP here. Huge barricading has already been done. Section 144 has been imposed. So you're watching Republic TV. Stay tuned. Now we will be right back after a short break.
Amity faculty have filed over 1,700 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
भैया जी हमला। भैया जी 10 गोलियां ले ले।
गोलियां नहीं रज्जा, गोली।
पर बाहर तो 10 लोग हैं।
10 हो या पूरी बस, अब तो बस 1 है तो डन है। इसको कोई वॉच कराओ। जब वॉचो मिले ढेर सारे OTT ऐप्स एक ही प्लान में, तो हर कोई बोलेगा वॉचो 1 है तो डन है।
वॉचो प्लान स्टार्टिंग एट जस्ट 42 रुपीज पर मंथ। आज ही सब्सक्राइब करें और पाएं सिलेक्ट प्लान्स पर 1 महीना कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री।
Hey Rahul, what's up?
Hey, kicked about our first date?
Of course.
Benefits up to rupees 30,000 only at the Citroën C3 Carnival. Book today.
कुछ मेरा, कुछ तुम्हारा।
इसलिए ग्रीन लैम लैमिनेट्स, सपने आपके, लैमिनेट्स हमारा। अमेजिंग स्पेसेस के लिए कुछ मेरा, कुछ तुम्हारा।
अरे आप इतनी दूर हमारे लिए?
आपकी मेहनत कहां से कहां पहुंच रही है। मैं आपके एक साइन के लिए यहाँ नहीं आ सकता। हो गया आपका अकाउंट ओपन।
हर बंद राह ओपन हो सकती है, लगता है सिर्फ दिल।
धन्यवाद।
एक्सिस बैंक, दिल से ओपन।
उठो, जागो, दौड़ो तुम, डायबिटीज को रोको तुम।
Get Beto's Diabetes Care Program with a free glucometer and expert advice. Give a missed call on 740 1100.
It's party time with the Agio Big Bold Sale. 50 to 90% off on the world's biggest fashion brands. Download the app and shop now.
Experience the motion picture event Avatar: The Way of Water in cinemas now.
अगर तू हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस नहीं लेगा तो हॉस्पिटल का लंबा बिल तू अपनी जेब से भरेगा। 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 390 रुपए महीने से शुरू। पॉलिसी बाजार।
You know it's only a drill, and yet you train like it is the real thing. Because one day, at a second's notice, it will be. One day, you'll come together as an invincible team, and every second you save will be a life saved. The Indian Air Force is looking for an exceptional team, a team that is truly a cut above.
Join the Indian Air Force to be a cut above.
India's biggest fashion sale is back. Rock that print, binge that dress, show you my fashion flex. EORS.
Fashion's biggest sale. Yes.
Fashion's biggest sale is now live.
इससे बड़ा सेल नहीं मिलेगा.
Myntra end of reason sale. Shop now.
The BJP stages protest outside the Pakistan High Commission over Bilawal Bhutto's personal attack on the Prime Minister.
My advice is please clean up your act. Please try to be a good neighbor. Please try and contribute to what the rest of the world is trying to do today.
The External Affairs Minister sets the record straight by warning Pakistan to stop practicing terror.
And I'm sure my colleagues on stage will agree, questions are being raised on civil liberties and freedom of expression.
With Mamata Banerjee on stage, Amitabh Bachchan says questions being raised on the freedom of expression. Karnataka Chief Minister gives it back to the Congress. He says Rahul Gandhi's party is resorting to appeasement politics. Punjab police revealed that the Taran attack handlers were based in Pakistan and the mastermind is based in Canada.
मरोगे इसका तो और ज्यादा हम प्रचार करवाएंगे। तो दारू पी के मर जाएगा तो उसको हम लोग कंपनसेशन देंगे। सवाल ही नहीं पैदा होता, ये कभी मत सोचिए।
Over 50 people are dead because of spurious liquor in Bihar, but the chief minister says there is absolutely no question of compensation. A very good evening and thank you for staying with us here in Republic. I'm Deepthi Sachdeva. We begin this edition of the news with this breaking updates. That's about a conversation that Prime Minister Modi has just had with Vladimir Putin. And do remember, it's an important conversation in the context of a lot of things happening in the area of geopolitics, also in the big war in Ukraine that, remember, still continues. And India again and again, remember, has been the votary saying that war is no way out. Peace should be given a chance. Let's see if we can get in our colleague Abhishek, who has more details and a complete one on that, on what really has transpired as the two world leaders have just had a conversation. Abhishek, if you're still okay, I see Abhishek there on our screens here. Abhishek, what is it that this conversation was all about? What can you tell us?
All right, so communication happening between Prime Minister Modi and President Putin. Deepthi, among other things, obviously they talk about the Ukraine war, in which Prime Minister reiterated his position. You know, he sat across in front of Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of SCO summit in Samarkand and told him this is not an era of war. And now he has reiterated and said that diplomacy and dialogue should be given preference over what's going on. So essentially, I think that's a statement being made by the Prime Minister. Apart from that, of course, the whole gamut of bilateral issues, among other things.
Okay, Abhishek, apologies. I'm just cutting you short because we have our next breaking update, and this is where I will want Abhishek also to come in here. This is a response that has just come in regarding India's very first response about the Pakistan foreign minister's extremely uncivilized and below-the-belt comments. Abhishek, you're bringing in more details of what we've heard from the MEA as far as that comment goes?
Oh, well, yes. Remember, very crude remarks made by Foreign Affairs Minister of Pakistan, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, yesterday in New York, Deepthi, and misuse of the UN platform. I believe the world community would be taking note of it. Pakistan was not an invitee at the place where that comment was made. In fact, Bhutto was there and in his capacity as chair of the G77 and not in his capacity as External Affairs Minister of Pakistan. And then to be making that kind of statement. Now we have our External Affairs Ministry and the official spokesperson Arindam Bagchi responding. It's a comprehensive, detailed statement coming in, which essentially says Pakistan is the hub of terror. It's Make in Pakistan terrorism, which is exported through special terror zones based out of Pakistan around the world. And the statement says that from London to New York to Mumbai to Pulwama to Pathankot, everywhere it's Pak-sponsored, supported, instigated terrorism that has left its imprint, and this violence is emanated from these special terrorist zones and exported to all parts of the world. This Make in Pakistan terrorism has to stop. So a strongly worded comment coming in, and the MEA says that this new law marked by Pakistan happens on a day of when in 1971 it was the Pakistani army which had unleashed a genocide on the Bengali and Hindu population of its East Pakistan at that time. Now, of course, an independent, vibrant democracy of Bangladesh. And Pakistan should be, looking within and realizing that, and I'm reading from the statement, Deepthi, it's a strongly worded comment. It says Pakistan is a country that glorifies Osama bin Laden as a martyr and shelters terrorists like Lakhvi, like Hafiz Saeed, like Masood Azhar, Sajid Mir and Dawood Ibrahim. No other country can boast of 126 UN-designated terrorists and 27 UN-designated terror organizations, and that's Pakistan. I think India has decided to really not take it lightly.